Alright, so how's it going, everybody? As you guys know, we are doing our D&D Monday game. Let's see, any news? Yes, Civil War Alliance is Saturday, so 7:30. Hope to see you guys there. Should be a lot of fun. They are getting into their first major dungeon crawl. Should last a couple sessions at least. Should be all around good, and it's going to bring a close to Act 1 of 3 for this campaign. So when that happens, I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do, because it's going to be a lot of fun for me. Other than that, that's really about it. I think everybody's kind of ready here. We'll jump over into the game and make sure we're good to go, and then get this thing started. Alright, we ready?
Havik stepped away.
Oh, okay.
He went to go get a drink of water.
So you can continue talking.
I don't have anything to talk about, though. I am looking forward to my 2 campaigns coming to the end of their first act, which is coming soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Civil War?
Yeah, for both sides. They're getting... I don't know, they're about 2 sessions away, I think, from finishing.
Okay.
So, and then the end of it for both of them, for me, is gonna be just like, you know, that maniacal laughing that you do whenever you're planning something, like, pretty amazing. That's what's gonna happen for me.
When it comes to life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all that shit you guys have been running into for the past couple months. Guess what? Here's why.
Alright.
Well, I like the building of a world, you know, or a world view. Like when you get to the point, like, okay, like I understand the world that I'm living in, right? Like I understand the rules, and then you pull the curtain back, you're like, ha, you were just in a small room.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at how big this room is. Like,
Oh,
shit. Okay. What now? Great.
Yes, it is.
Planar travel is my favorite.
Alright, I don't know if anybody told you or not, Forge, but Aaron will be a little bit late today, so we're just going to go ahead and start without him.
Yeah, Zorn was telling me that.
Cool. Alright, whoever wants to do recap, we'll go ahead and start with that. Or stream and everything going?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Alright. Yeah, whoever wants to do recap, let's get that knocked out, and we'll go ahead and get started.
I think it's Zorn's turn. Isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think I took very good notes last time. Let me double
Just
check.
recall from your memory.
Yeah, I asked the stoner to recall from his memory.
That
Paint
seems like
us
you
a picture with your mind.
Nothing bad could ever come of that, right?
Use your face like a paintbrush.
No, I took terrible notes last time, and I'm having trouble remembering. Give me a second to think about it.
I mean, I can do it.
Yeah, go ahead, because maybe when you start talking, I'll start remembering something.
Yeah, so we left the city of Greenest on a trip to Elturel to catch up with Leosin. He got us horses and feed, and basically paid the entire way for us to make it up there. Once we got to Elturel, we did a little bit of day drinking, wandered around the city for a little while until we made it to. I didn't write the name of the hotel down. Yeah. Oh, I know that I don't know.
Pair of black antlers.
That's it.
The pair of black antlers, who was owned and operated by Unthar Fum, the Paladin of Torm. and the person that we inevitably wanted to see through direction from Leos. We stayed the night, and the next day started off early and traveled around the city, and were tested by Onthar in a race and then an archery exhibition. Gaining his trust, he met us later on that evening with Leosin to discuss and ultimately reveal their connection to the Harpers and the Gauntlet of Torm, or the Order of the Gauntlet, the hardcore religious sect of Torm. Both Leosin and Onthar, hey Scott, directed us from their independent agencies to blend in and join up with the cultist horde to learn where their horde is being sent and what their plans are. Onthar also said he would provide us with a ship that could specifically sail at night to shorten our time in order to get there, and directed us to a friend of his, a disguise specialist by the name of Vlagan Morgan. So we were setting off out of the hotel from our meeting in an effort to make it to the other side of the city after nightfall to seek out Master Morden.
Yep, that's what I have. That's like the only notes I have is our itinerary for today.
The irony of me getting the quill feather thing for the boat in the other campaign, and we don't get it here, and yet we haven't touched anything near water in the other campaign. Would have been awfully useful here.
I hate water. I stay away from it.
So my oh shit moment was that I can do this now. I'll do it on tables, y'all can hear it.
Jesus.
My dice came in. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that's one of the most like terrifying noises is when the DM just starts rolling dice behind the curtain. Doesn't say anything like, "Why are you doing that?" Why? Just put them down. You don't need to roll anything right now.
God, these dice are so good looking.
I'm literally role-playing, taking a shit. Why are you rolling the dice?
Oh, there's nothing like rolling physical dice to seal somebody's fate. Oh, it's the same as clicking a button.
Alright, got my 220s and my full metal set. I'm good to go.
Now you just need a felt box.
I've got my badass bag for it, so I'm super excited about that too. Speaking of which, I'll throw the rest of these in there. So I have 4 fucking sets now.
You have to shoot pictures of them. So we see which ones you got.
I'll do it after session.
Yeah.
All right. So we have gone through, and you have gotten into some of the intrigue. You have been given a mission by not only the Harpers, but also the Order of the Gauntlet, courtesy of Onthar Froome and Leosin Erlenthar. So they have sent you off to try to see if you can remedy this issue that at least a couple you are having of being very, very noticeable, so that you may be able to hide from the cult that you're being sent to track. So, everybody planning on heading to the southeast of Israel to look for this flagon?
Yeah, I think we were.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was the plan.
Yep.
And just leaving straight from a pair of black
first
antlers?
thing on the itinerary.
So it was getting kind of late. It was dusk whenever you brought in. After about an hour of discourse, you are leaving now. So it's well into the evening now.
I don't even feel bad.
But if that's what y'all want to do, then yeah, we'll
Yeah.
head down
Well,
there.
he specifically said to seek him out at night.
He did mention that. Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
I'm gonna go knock on his door.
All right, so you're directed down to the southeast towards the shipyard. Very bustling with trade and such. You see lots of fairly sized ships as you make down to the southeast of the city. It seems like none of them are as big as you would expect to see, like on the sea and such, because most of these are river vessels, just made to go between here and Baldur's Gate, as well as anywhere else along the river. But as you move down, you're able to find the apothecary that was mentioned by Froome. You know it to be called the Crooked Tree. As you kind of make your way up to it, you see a sign, very plain looking, that says the Crooked Tree on it, but on the door, you see an almost masterfully worked barren tree etched into it. This door is very thick looking, as well as, like I said, the tree on it looks dead, but seems to bend in all sorts of crazy different ways.
Yeah, I imagine just kind of going up to the door and, putting my hand on it and just, feeling it.
Yeah, solid. It's like rich mahogany.
Yeah.
Did you go blind too?
Is this the place?
Now the masterwork is on this is just incredible. Here, Tara, feel.
I'm gonna
kind of like
put my hand on the door, I guess, and run my hands over the carving of the tree.
As you're kind of walking up next to it and touching it, you do notice it's very smooth, angular patterns, kind of rounded off to what you would expect to be a carving of a tree. Give me a perception check, Tara.
so good.
As you're walking up and feeling this door, you feel your senses actually go past the door. It seems like the other side is made of stone or dirt of some sort, and you can actually walk on bare ground instead of the wood slats that you've kind of gotten used to at this point from all the buildings you've entered.
Awesome. Do I sense anything else?
Nope.
After noting kind of the quality, I'm gonna turn the handle and open the door.
Okay. So you see, much like the door itself, the handle is kind of crooked off in odd angles. Kind of takes you a second to get your hand around it, but you're able to open the door. As you open the door into this somewhat, decently sized building, not huge, but not a little shanty either. You open the door and see very dimly lit, hard to really make out fine details, except for maybe Arun might be able to see a little bit better, but everybody else is kind of squinting around. You see several candles kind of lit up, not giving off a whole lot of light. But as you open the door and move your way into the room, you hear a voice coming from the back of the room say, "Yes? Who is it?"
Vagan Morden. My name is Maximilian. I was sent here by Onthar Froome to speak to you.
And as you kind of make your way further in, you see what appears to be a counter where you would expect a merchant or someone to stand on the other side of, and you see a very well-dressed man, somewhat tall, well over 6 feet, dressed very richly, almost appears to be someone of noble birth.
In comparison to everybody else.
To everybody else, but for a human, he's well built and very tall and solid looking. As you kind of look him over and such, he looks at you and you see he's got a little bit of a stubble, not much of a beard. Kind of scratches it, says, "Onthar, why, pray, did he send you to me?"
He told us you were a master of disguise. And we're in need of disguise.
With that, he kind of raises his hands out, palms towards you kind of pleadingly. He says, "Well, that may be one of my talents, but I'm sure there are better, others better equipped to help you with that. What even would you need a disguise for?"
I kind of reach back into the crowd and, grab Damien by like the base of the neck and shoulders, like pull him up next to me. We need to not look like dragon.
I kind of pipe in, and I don't want to look like a little girl when we go there.
With that, he kind of looks at you all, and you see a bit of a grin begin to split his face. And he raises one finger up in the air and says, "One moment, please." And with that, he kind of disappears. This counter's about 5.5 feet tall. Barely his shoulders kind of stood behind it, so he easily disappears behind it. A few moments pass. You hear a little bit of rustling. About time, someone stands up from behind the counter. It's not the figure you expected to come back from around. Instead of fine clothing and a well-polished aging gentleman, you see a dirty, hooded figure standing before you. It's hard to see much of the details of his face, except for a very long and crooked nose. And with that, he kind of leans forward towards everyone at the counter and says, "Well, let's get started, shall we?"
What that is, Master Borden?
Well, who else would it be?
How? I kind of look back to the rest of the group and say, that is much better than my homeless man's disguise.
What's going on?
It seems that Master Morden here is much more adept at the art of disguise than anyone thought possible, even to disguise your voice.
And with that, as you're explaining stuff, you see him kind of reaching around underneath the counter there, and about the time he looks up at you, Maximilian, as well as Tara, he then turns, and you can see, from what you can see of his face, he seems to be looking at Tara. "Tell that one to stop feeling around my shop here, please."
She can hear you, she just can't see.
"Well, if she could hear me, then she could stop tingling at my feet. What are you doing there, girl?"
It's how I see. If you have me stop filling around, I will bump into everything in your shop, and most likely it will get destroyed.
Well, that would be very amusing, wouldn't it?
I mean, it could
Possibly.
also be expensive.
And with that, he kind of cucks, whatever. Moves around, turns his back to you all. Let's see. Two Dragonborn and a little girl. That he turns back around and holds his hands up and says, "What's wrong with the cloaks that you're wearing? Wouldn't that suffice?"
No, the place we're going, they hate our kin.
And we plan on an extended stay while traveling. So,
As you're saying that, he kind of reaches up into the mask. He says, "Extended. How long would you need to be disguised?"
During almost all daylight hours, at least.
That he kind of muses and turns back around and begins shuffling around. He actually disappears into a corridor out of sight, and you hear a few things dropping, some glass shattering on the ground. By the time he reappears again, and he holds up a very dirty-looking cloak like the one he's wearing. "See, a cloak. This will work just fine for you, I think."
Reach out so he could hand it to me.
As you're grabbing hold of it, give me a perception check. As you're kind of looking over this cloak, the first thing that you notice about it is that it reeks. It seems like he might have gotten this out of a waste bin or the trash. It smells terrible. As you look it over a little bit further, trying to figure out, surely this very good person at disguise would give you something that would help you be disguised. It looks like a normal cloak.
With that, you kind of turn, throw a cloak on. I'm going to do that, but over Steve's shoulders.
I don't trust this, so I'm going to put it on somebody else.
Yeah, I want to throw it, right over, sniff it and give it a hard sniff and, throw it over his shoulders.
Thanks?
It smells terrible.
I imagine it makes kind of a semi-wet slap, as it hits the skin.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got some wet spots of,
Yeah.
you hope it's mud.
It's probably not mud.
Might explain the smell. Tara and Arun, give me Arcana checks. You sense nothing magical from this. You are fairly certain that this is just a regular cloak that he's given you.
I kind of just take a couple steps back to retreat from the smell since it's kind of overpowering me.
look and so how does he activate its ability, Master Dragon or Master Morden?
You see this, cloak and nose kind of turned sideways. What ability? The thing just smells nasty. I don't want it in here anymore. Take it away from me.
Yeah, I'm taking this thing off. No,
I was waiting, kind of look and like just show a sign of apology to Steve, like, how did you then hide yourself so quickly in this disguise? That's what we need.
Kind of turns his head the other way. Oh, magic, of course. Why didn't you just ask for it?
That is an excellent point. Do you have what kind of magic is this?
My kind of magic.
What would be required of us to be able to take this magic with us?
And with that, he kind of turns his head from side to side and looks around the room and seems to be thinking for a moment. As well, for that extended stay, for someone as large as you and your friend here, and someone small like this little girl that won't stop tickling my feet. With that, he turns and seems to be shuffling in his own robe. And about time you see him turn around, and he's holding 3 bluish vials. The liquid inside of them are blue. He says, these 3 concoctions, I dare not call them potions because that would mean I know what I'm doing, you see. But they may do the job for you. They're a bit unstable, however.
What do you mean by unstable?
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Scott.
Hello?
Hello? Push to talk. No? Yeah.
All right. He says, well, most potions, as it were, are made by these experts, and he kind of flips his hand in the air very dismissively. They can tell you certain, unnecessary details like what it's going to do and how long it'll last. I don't ever worry about such trivial things.
So you're saying they could take it and immediately it'll work and then it'll just not work?
Precisely.
That sounds very risky.
Like, sir, we are working in a medium that requires stealth. We can't. This is a risk we can't take. We can't risk.
But then he kind of shrugs and looks at you and says, well, they will change your appearance. Will that suffice for you? Can't say how long they'll last. These things are finicky at best, unfortunately. But they'll do the job for you.
Is that all the aid that you can provide us?
He kind of looks you up and down and says, I don't know. Probably.
I imagine kind of crazy eyes, like, oh, okay. With that, I'll extend my hand. And what should you want? Should you want the results of your experiment? Should we take these?
I don't think we should take them until the very last possible moment, since we don't know how long they're going to last.
No,
I wonder if you're just not offering him the right amount of gold to get the right item.
I haven't offered him anything. That's what he came to the table with.
As Stone Skull mentions gold, you hear him in the background kind of chuckle. Gold? A man such as my stature has no need for such pleasantries as gold. No. You'll pay me in other ways.
What ways are those?
I don't know.
You'll know when you know, I imagine.
Precisely.
I just kind of pipe in and say, I believe From was paying for all of this, so you should collect from him.
It's not a. I kind of turn my head. I don't think there's a price tag, but I think this will cost us. With that, I said, I'll lean forward, on the bar and extend my hand. And said, we might not be coming back, but I imagine you'll find us.
And you see finally, as you move kind of closer to the bar, you see a very yellowish smile appearing from through this hooded cloak. He says, "Oh yes, I will find you. No worries there."
With that, I said, well, we won't leave a debt unpaid. So call on us when you need us, and we'll do our best to assist in whatever it is we can.
Yes. Take the potions and go. Get out of here.
Kind of move them away, pocket them back, and kind of turn around and look at the rest of the group. Should we head back to the stag? This is Steve, sorry.
I've got a bad feeling about these potions.
As you say that, you hear him correct you. Concoctions!
It's the same thing.
No, I don't think we should put much faith in their ability, but it's more now. We have more now than we did a second ago, and I'll take that.
If we're really worried about Tara, we could just stuff her into my backpack.
I think it'd be best to have an extra. And as much as you might not like to seem like a young girl, that is in fact what you are. Let them, let someone be fooled by your demeanor. It's better to have them underestimate you than overestimate you. I'm going to take one and hand it to Steve. Say, keep this on your person. We'll use them right before we make contact with the camp, and hopefully they'll last as long as we need them to.
All right, brother.
Hopefully,
If you
it's
ever
a
put shit
very
cloak on me
strong
again,
word.
We're gonna have word.
Well, I kind of stand up. Well, I wouldn't want to get it on me. I imagine I'm constantly messing with you too, Steve. Just little jabs, elbows, stuff like that, shoulder checking you, not real hands on. But yeah, as we'll make it way back across town to our hotel, or to our rooms, I guess, to
The pair
spend the
of
rest
black
of the night.
antlers.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have 2 days to complete all of our requests. We've got to burn time as well.
You also got to pick up your armor at some point.
Yeah, it would be
Armor and sword.
Uh-huh.
All right. So as you're kind of leaving the crooked tree, you hear Vlagan in the background saying, "Don't go swimming for 30 minutes after taking it. Trust me." And a few other warnings that you kind of disregard. You're able to depart and head back to the pair of black antlers.
I mean, do we really want to disregard the warnings?
That's up to you.
Yeah,
No
can
one
I get a
knows.
list of those?
Yeah, can we? We're gonna need all of the
Jesus,
side
Marcus.
effects of taking these potions, concoctions.
As you're all leaving, everybody give me an insight check.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Man.
as you're all leaving and hearing all these cries from the seamed, madman, Stone Skull and Max, especially Stone Skull, you got the very distinct impression that this person, being whatever he might have been, was extremely powerful in his own way. It might have been in martial prowess or anything of that nature, but you got an air of, almost belittlement from him because he was so much, further or so much more than you.
Oh yeah.
I want you to get that impression. You wanted to get the just.
Stone Skull looks over at Max and says, "I bet he does great impressions."
I just, I hope his ask isn't too much.
All right. I think probably Scott is probably restarting everything because I don't see him. Yeah. Oh, now I see him again.
And he's in Discord, but he's not. Yeah.
Alrighty. So you're able to head back to a pair of black antlers with no issues and such. You're pretty much going to have the 2 days to yourselves. So anything you would like to do before the ship departs, what do you want to do, if anything?
I'll repost this. So that we remember. Someone had mentioned Mason's tools.
I did. Though I've already done that part of it, because that was while you guys were taking care of the armor and dropping that off. Gonna get that, and I need to get a kit for jewelry as well. Not proficient in them, but I'm gonna tinker.
And you get kind of as you talk to Froom's agents, Froom is no longer there when you return, and you actually don't see much of him over the next couple days as you're getting ready to depart. But his agents, let you know essentially that you have a passage on a very fast ship booked that is willing to go through the night to make the journey to Baldur's Gate within 2 days. They also say that if there's anything you need within reason to let him know or let one of his men know, and they will get you taken care of. So, hello, Scott?
Yeah.
Hello. Is Scott here?
I think he joined.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah. Check his input settings. Did you check those?
Facebook is Havoc is what I imagine. I found a picture of what I think my sword's gonna look like now.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, I would just rebind the settings on the in Discord and see what happened.
Make sure your Discord input device isn't set to default, because that jacks up sometimes.
Yep. Because, I mean, he hears us, but he can't communicate to us.
Okay, now how about now?
Hey! The frustration.
And it just cut out and it's dead now.
And scene.
And scene. All right, so for what Scott missed, you have left the interesting apothecary, the Crooked Tree, and head back to a pair of black antlers. No, it's a really hard word.
I can't say black antlers. So.
Yeah. So we're just going to rename everything. It's all named Steve now. That's easy to say. You have the 2 days to yourself, so if there's any other supplies you would like to get, the Harpers and the Order of the Gauntlet have agreed to give you any supplies you need for the journey within reason. And, no +2 weapons or anything.
So +1 tables are on
no,
the...
That's what I was thinking.
No, you assholes. You will work for this. You have these 3 potions that will do something. You're not quite sure what you get everybody got the distinct impression he was telling the truth. They will alter your appearance. You're just not sure how or for how long, and if there's going to be any ill side effects. So
Probably gonna be ill side effects.
Mm-hmm. I hope not.
I want to take the stuff that I have, the dragon claw mask and the Ondath's robes, and get them tailored to me a bit more.
okay. Give me a perception check as you're kind of explaining what you want done with them and taking a closer look at the robes. All right. So as you're kind of looking a little bit closer at the robes, as you get ready to take them to a tailor, when the attack on Greenus was happening, as well as during the silent raid on the camp, you saw several individuals walking around in somewhat similar, though not as extravagant robes. You see a couple of insignias tailored at the kind of hems down at the bottom of these robes. You also see a lot of things that may be more tailored to the former wearer of this. So like gold, seams up the sides, laced in, leaf gold, or what's it called? Gold leaf, yeah. It kind of seems like this was custom made for her. And give me an insight check to see if you know what that might mean to you. So you kind of think that it was custom made for her, and that if anybody knew her well enough, they may recognize her robes.
It's like you're walking around in a general's outfit into an army camp.
I am the general. In that case, I would probably ask for something a bit more subdued. Like, I don't want it trimmed in gold leaf anyway. Something a little bit more subtle.
All right, so just kind of tone it down a little bit, essentially. Kind of make it your own.
Yeah, I mean, use it for comparison, so it's like authentic robes that they're going off of, but definitely not as standout.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you'll be able to get that done relatively easily. It only cost you 2 silver pieces.
Shit, yeah.
Got
Just
it done
score.
cheap. All right, what's everybody else wanting to do, if anything?
I'm actually looking over a catalog for D&D items to make sure that I don't need anything. I will actually share it with y'all because it's actually really nice.
I'm wanting to start. I have the horn from Lingardoso that I carved off of his head. And I want to start filing that down and just chipping it off into a little bit of a smaller piece into something that I want to form it into.
Okay.
But that's going to take a while, so it's just something he's going to work on in the background, like short rests and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, we won't have you do any checks until you start getting a little bit closer and such.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, let's take a look at this. Ooh,
Steve, do you have anything in particular you would like to look around for or get done?
Cool.
Or...
You had also asked about some tools.
Yeah, I got thieves tools. I think I want better armor. Yeah, can I find studded leather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could find some regular studded leather.
I would like to.
For the normal price, unless you would like to barter for it.
I'll pay normal price.
All right. I'm sure you've got that brought up, but
if it's the same as the sheet that Zorn just posted, it's 10 gold.
That sounds right.
No,
yeah.
Sorry, 45. 45.
Oh yeah, because studded leather goes up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 45 gold pieces.
No
is
problem.
the normal. You could aim for 38 if you wanted to, or 33 rather, sorry, if you wanted to barter.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right.
I want to get a like a nice like traveler's outfit kind of put together. Something like made out of some like sturdier leather. You know what I mean? Something you would expect to travel a long distance in. Not necessarily like common clothes.
As you were talking to one of Frub's agents, he said that any new clothing that you would like to purchase or obtain, rather, they would take care of for you. For the guise of disguising yourselves a little bit better, they want to outfit you for that. So if you want any kind of stuff like that, just write a description for it and add it to your inventory.
Okay.
I'll probably use some of the spare time writing and sending letters
Back to Candlekeep?
Yep.
Coop.
Definitely get some new boots.
I'm sure that Steve wants to replace some of the clothes that was probably ruined by that cloak that you threw on him.
Yeah, I would.
All right. Let's see.
What else would be?
I want to buy a bag of caltrops.
Okay.
I have the ball bearings.
Mm-hmm. I remember us talking about those.
Yeah.
Let's see. Willie's armor. That was a point of not contention, but something I wanted to look at.
I think I got everything I need before we head out. Yeah, I still have my manacles.
Okay. When you decide to pick up your modified armor, Max, it will be the equivalent of half plate armor.
Okay. Nice.
Going forward, you will have disadvantage on stealth.
Still gangster.
Welcome to the club for another level and a half. I look forward to that first level of barbarian, and I can get rid of my heavy ass armor.
So you don't need it anymore because barbarians.
Because barbarian, and my AC goes up by 1 when I do that.
There's got to be a thing here, right? Armor class tracking.
Just drag and drop half plate. So go to the compendium, the little eye in the thing. Do half plate, drag and drop to your character sheet, and then unequip your other armor, and it will auto update your armor class.
So your armor class should be 16 after you do it.
Well, welcome to the club. Not so squishy anymore.
There it goes. Make him a little bit better at getting up in the shit.
Well, and then it goes up to 18 with the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I am now behind.
You're also a caster.
16 is pretty decent for a caster from what I can tell.
16's damn good for a caster, yeah.
I had 14 forever as my warlock, so...
I want to leave my armor, the leather armor, behind with Baldur and his group in case they need it.
Okay.
But yeah, the idea it served me well. Make sure it gets used.
What are the chances of finding a cloak of protection in town?
Non-existent.
Okay.
Just like I said, a disclaimer, magical rewards typically, until you get to higher levels, are going to be found adventuring, so... The more time you spend doing that, the more chances you get to get shiny things.
All right, then I'm done shopping. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Hurry up.
Shinies.
What are we waiting on?
Yeah, so I'm gonna imagine going and getting my armor and shield. Armor and sword, sorry.
Yeah, your
Is there
sword
no
looks functionally still the same as the sword you had before. I think it was a long sword, if I remember right.
Yeah.
The only creative liberties I'll take is that instead of the red coloring of the one you sent me, it's now more of a gold, hue to it to match your scales.
Ooh, I like that. So you can, if you want to show everybody else the picture or whatever.
Yeah, I can do that.
You want to?
Add handout. What's it called? The antagonist?
Yeah. So not only are the points, like the part of the blade has been filed in to resemble teeth, but there are channels that are in between those teeth that run in varying depths from the tip of the blade all the way to the hilt.
Looks like the Ripper from Fallout.
Yeah, like a big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I move it through the air, I move it straight across the front, and it makes a very loud and clear, like, whistle as it cuts through the air. And then as I move it, like, side to side, it makes a different, like, harmonious whistle as it whirls through the air. And then, with a sheath, this will come in handy, I think.
All right. Y'all have anything else you would like to do before taking off?
No, I'm all set.
What does the DM think we should do before taking off?
Whatever y'all feel like doing.
No, I'm good.
I've got my new outfit, new boots, armor fits, my swords. The shield. What does the shield look like, Scott? Did you have an idea in your head?
Very generic.
Okay. Kind of pulling the onion. What could I put on the front of my shield to make people want to kind of steer clear of me? Is there like a crazy symbol or? No. I wonder. Would be a symbol? Is it? How do you say it? Grumsh? Grumesh, the orc god. Grumesh.
Grumesh.
I want to get put something on the front of my shield, like the Eye of Grumesh. A symbol that would make the shield look gnarly, like a war trophy. From someone
Talking about the Groomsh One Eye, is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Greater deity is Groomsh.
Groomsh, yeah. I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways, but yeah. Either way, I want to see if I can't commission someone to paint the shield or modify the shield to make it look like an orcish shield, just for appearance.
Yeah, we could say you kind of had that done at the same blacksmith.
Okay.
Do. All right. So after getting the strange kind of request, he does the best he can. The shield before, I kind of imagine it was kind of like that pentagon shape of it, having the sides and the bottom of it going down to a point.
Okay.
When it's returned to you, you notice that this pentagon shape has kind of been melded around and chips of it have been knocked away, almost to make it look battle hardened. The face of it has been beaten a bit, almost with a large hammer, but it's, like I said, made to look like it's been through a lot of battle, and then painted like a dark red and then there's a single like half closed, half open eye sitting in the middle of it.
Awesome.
Yes. They're just perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's better than I could have thought. Yeah.
I like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? Last call.
But for just flavor. Oh, sorry.
I'm just gonna assume that the outfit they're making me is how I.
It's exactly what you asked for.
Yep.
Yay.
I just want to, have some sort of harness on the back of my shield or the back of my armor, so I could put my shield on my back like upside down. So you can like reach back with one hand and like detach it and bring it around. But so it's upside down.
Okay.
I mean, not that it really does anything, just the way it looks. Yeah, that way I can put my cloak over it. And I'm ready to rock.
All right. All right. So 2 days have passed. It's getting to the evening, where Froome told you that back down the docks that he would have a ship waiting for you. You know that the ship is called the Pearlesque. And I didn't actually write up a captain's name or anything. So the captain, who remained nameless for right now, for his own
We never
reasons.
met.
Yeah. He doesn't give you his name. Says it'll get you there. They will slow down a little bit for the night. That way they can basically sail by torchlight from lanterns and such. But they promise to get you there within 2 days. As you're getting ready to set off, you notice a few more people from the Order of the Gauntlet that you've seen previously populating the pair of antlers coming up, and you see them loading some more supplies. And when you asked about it, they said more clothes. We got some odd requests from some people that were interested in your voyage. So we loaded that up for you, as well as any traveling supplies you may need going forward. Kind of mentioning that when and if you do end up following this group, they don't know how long. Nobody knows how long you'll be on the road if you end up there. So they provide you enough rations and food and supplies for a lengthy journey if necessary.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Are the horses coming with us?
I don't know. Are they? Are you taking them with you, or are you leaving them
I
behind?
would like to,
I
if that's
would
possible.
as well.
Yeah, the horses can 100% be taken with you.
Nice.
You
I
just
didn't
have
even
to
think
tell
about
them
the
so.
horses.
I was hoping somebody would.
Yeah, I didn't want to just leave them behind. I just
Absolutely
assumed,
not.
but I was like, we better not just assume.
Never assume with me. So you 100% can take all 5 of your horses with you. They'll be stowed below deck, where the somewhat large ship has plenty of room for them, though. The horses are not happy about it. You can tell that they are very uneasy about being loaded onto the boat and under deck, but they're able to be loaded and secured and accompany you on the voyage. One of the men that's loaded Froome walks up to you, Max. He says, "Here, this is from Froome." He said that you'll get some more information from it and to seek him out. And with that, he turns and leaves. As you open up and read this note, you see just one sentence on there saying, "Seek out Kinsella. He'll be able to help you." And then it's just signed on Tharfroom.
Celamon.
Get that name. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're on it.
All right. And with that, you set sail on
Celamon.
What's the name of this river?
Celion.
Something
Just so
like
y'all
that.
know, Tara is going to stay down with the horses and rock herself back and forth.
The Kyanthar River. So you can kind of see now, you were starting out in Eltril, located on the kind of south middle of the map. You're traveling along westward on the Kyanthar River to Baldur's Gate. Everybody can kind of see where you are and such.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Baldur's Gate. I don't see where we are.
Look to the east
Directly
of that.
All the way down. Go all the way down.
Along
Greenest
the
is
river.
here.
Yeah.
That's right here. Oh, that's going, yeah.
You were all here, and you were going here. Make it easy for you. All right. So you set sail. Trip is very uneventful. Tara's uneasy the entire time. The horses are very uneasy. You're able to go straight through both nights and get there early morning on the third morning, I guess, third day, but it only took you 2 days to get there. So you arrive at Baldur's Gate. What kind of ale is it? The spiced rum again? Please tell me it's the spiced rum.
I didn't specify intentionally.
All right, so you make dock right around the low lantern, so O marked on your map, around there. A lot of this stuff can be ignored on this map. Once again, it's something I pulled from the internet, so but it gives you the basic area of Baldur's Gate, which my notes have mysteriously disappeared on. There it is. So basic information that everybody kind of knows already. Baldur's Gate is a bustling center of trade, having two major roads go through it, as well as the Kyanthar River going out to sea. That's just all what the city's about, is trade. The goods come from north and south along the tradeway and by ship on the Sea of Swords. Then they travel out east along the River Kyanthar and from Cormyr to Symbia. There's a prominent bluff next to the river, and that is what Baldur's Gate is situated upon. This kind of natural harbor you can see the city was kind of built around. The city from word tell between what you've heard over your travels, as well as what was said on the ship. The city is broken up into three different distinct segments. The upper city is where the rich and most influential citizens live, and where the city's marketplace, the Wide, is located. The lower city, which is basically everything around the harbor, it's where all the merchants live and conduct their business. And the outer city, which lies outside the walls, and that's where most of the city's laborers reside, in conditions that vary from crowded but clean to squalid. So you have arrived in the city. You're down by the harbor. What would you like to do?
Get off of the boat.
Kind of confide with everyone. I received a message as we were leaving to seek out a man named Aklin Celaban, but the note didn't mention where we might be able to find this gentleman. We also, kind of out of character, did we have an idea, a time frame on when we were trying to link up with the cultist, caravan?
During that kind of meeting, after you all agreed to help out with the cause, essentially, you got the rough distinction of how long it would take for them to go around their path. They were going to the west over to Baragost, and then making their way north up to Baldur's Gate. It would take a considerable amount of time, and especially if they were doing, a caravan of wagons and such, it would take even longer. So you kind of planned it out in such a way that you were going to arrive within a few days of when they're expected to be there.
But we don't know where they'd be. We need to get some info. We need to find Aklin. Or Akin. I'm going to put an L in there.
Who is this Akin? Why should we seek him?
I pulled out the note. Onthar suggested we reach him out when we get here, but I didn't it was set by mission. I didn't have the opportunity to ask him where this person might be.
Fair enough.
Where would they mentioned having contacts all throughout the city? Where would a Harper go?
I mean, you could start at the dock and then go to the inn.
So, well, there's gonna be a lot of inns.
Well, Harper's
Wherever, information travels fastest.
yeah, Harper's would especially if they're information hoarders, they would want to stick somewhat close to the docks. You would think.
Right.
Havoc, which side of the port are we on?
You are over where you see O on the map, approximately here.
So
Okay.
I imagine I'm gonna point across the street to the low lantern.
That seems like a good place to start as any.
I believe we need to find some arrangements for our horses and such first.
I believe that'd
Or,
be wise.
well,
I can.
Yeah, but they might have it there. Havoc, if you know what the situation is.
You can ask anybody around. You see some guardsmen kind of in the area. You see a lot of locals, some merchants. So if you want to inquire about that, you could.
Let's get Tara off the boat and get our horses off the boat, and then we can kind of decide from there. I don't like being straddled half on and half off water.
I go ahead and tie rope to 2 of the horses, and then take the reins of 2 more, and just keep them behind me. I know there's still. Because did we bring all 5 or did we only bring 4? You brought all 5?
All 5, yeah.
Okay. So I'll start leading the group of them off and bring them up towards shore. And as I kind of walk by, some of the people look like they're working the dock. I'm going to ask, is there any place that we can stage our horses while we're here in town?
As you kind of ask that, you see a man carrying, hauling a cart back behind him. It seems like the cart's full of somewhat fresh fish that he's taken to the market. He kind of sets it down and wipes sweat from his brow, turns to you and says, "Well, I wouldn't keep him in the city too long. Horses and wagons and such are banned from the city." He kind of turns around and he points off to the north, towards the north wall, this area here. He says, "My advice, I'd take him out there to the Black Gate. Be able to find work if a tall gentleman as yourself was looking to be a guard or something like that out there. And it's safe to put your horses there where they won't be taken in the night."
Thank you, especially if you feel that that's a safe place to keep them, then perhaps that's what we will do.
That he kind of shrugs. He says, "Safer than here." He kind of laughs and walks off.
Yeah, as we get, I'll take the last horse, and lead it off the boat as well, and then
with
kind of
Tara on top of it.
Okay, yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. Trust the horse. I don't want to be on the horse. You're on the boat. All right, I want to be on the horse. But no, you have to dismount when we get down. Say, if no horses are allowed on the inside, I imagine we can't ride them through the streets. Let's try and keep our profile down and get these horses put up.
Yep. So I imagine we're heading over to the northeast gate there, the Black Gate.
So as you begin to move through, heading to the gates to the north, you notice while it is a bustling city, the hard-backed earth, kind of beaten down with constant rain, is kind of muddy and such, but it's kept mostly in check as far as travelability by the fact that there are no horses or wagons or anything like that roaming the streets. You kind of get some dirty looks from people as you take the horses through. And guards kind of wave you on and make sure you're heading to the north. It seems like they all want you to get them out of the city. But you're able to make it up to the north gate and head out into the outer city. Random word of mouth that you kind of hear in conversations as you're passing by lets you know that the area immediately out this north gate in the outer city is called the Black Gate.
Okay. And looking around, do I see a place to keep or to stable the horses? Or if not, are there guards that could kind of point in that direction?
As all of you are moving out except for Tara, everyone give me a perception check.
Okay. Holy hell. Wow.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Woof. All right, well,
rolls,
all right.
my DC was 15, so fuck you guys. So as you're all walking out, you kind of look around. You see random stables and such around you. However, Stone Skull, as you're looking around, you actually notice a sign hanging over a somewhat large shop that says Celebon's Equipage Business.
Hey, Max, what was the name of that individual we were supposed to look for?
Kinsella, why?
You see that sign? And I kind of point over in the direction of where the sign is and says, looks like that's the guy.
Yeah, kind of look up and look at the note. Well, at least our friend up there has a sense of humor. And let's. If you guys want to watch some of the horses outside, anybody want to come with me inside?
I can watch the horses if you guys want to go in.
I will follow inside.
I'll head inside.
I'm gonna stay outside with Stone Skull.
Sure, you don't want to come in and try any clothing on for me?
Nope. Yeah, I'm good.
Fair enough.
Fool me once. All right. So as Steve and Stone Skull remain outside, the rest of the party heads inside this very plain but very functional building. As you walk in, you immediately see all around you different things that seem to be needed for long distance travel. So you see pieces of wagons from wheels and such, rope, netting, grease, chains, wheels, so on and so forth. You see a somewhat tall man standing behind the counter, seems to be working on some kind of metal contraption. It's hard to tell what it is from there.
Imagine, walk in and say, hello, Master Kinsella.
And with that, as you pipe up, he stops from what he's working on, looks over you, and takes in your features and looks around the rest of the party. Kind of, a little bit of a hushed tone. He says, "Where's the other two?"
They're outside with our horses, Master Sullivan.
With that, he nods. He says, "Very well. We'll find a place to put your horses, and then we need to talk."
Let's move then. What should we do with our beasts?
He points out across the, motioning for across the street. He says, "There's a stable there. Just tell him I sent you, and they'll take your horses free of charge, and then everybody come back here immediately."
All right. Kind of usher everyone out the door. I imagine I interrupt the story right as it's getting good. Like the story for your story, have to wait another time. Apparently, Master Celeban is in a hurry. He told us we could stable our horses across the way. Use his name for passage, but he also seemed with a sense of urgency.
Yep, and the stable boy is able to just nods as you mention his name and takes your horses and stows them away. You're able to move back into the quarters. You see who you presume to be Akin standing behind the counter, holding up a kind of a counter latch. Hard to describe. It raises up and down, kind of like you would see in a bar.
Oh yeah, like it's a leaf, like
Yeah,
the leaf
yeah.
in a bar.
Yeah. He motions for everybody to move through, and you see a corridor leading to a large room in the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead the way. You know, kind of. I imagine I'm gonna have to turn sideways and kind of squeeze to fit through this leaf.
Havoc, what kind of material is the floor?
It's wood here.
Okay.
Hard to see, quote unquote.
Am I gonna fit through that?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a very plain but functional building. It's built a little bit larger than it needs to be to hold everything, like these large wagon wheels and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like a warehouse.
Yeah. All right. Before we get back to the back room, I'm gonna make another drink so I can talk a little bit. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Tara is still standing in the middle of the shop.
Take a short.
Well, I already walked through the door, so hopefully somebody else will see you're not behind.
Yeah, Havoc said he motioned. Didn't see it.
True story.
You have to start doing something when it's like motion. Like when we all start moving, like, hey, where are you going? I can feel you move.
Well, I can't right now. That's why I asked about the floor.
Oh, you can still feel. Look, between the three of us, we weigh almost 1,000 pounds. You're gonna feel that moving around. Like, I don't care who you are.
I might hear it.
What?
Yeah, we're not light on our feet.
No, 1,000 pounds of three. As soon as we get up, as soon as we take a step, if you're standing on wood floors. Now, granted, you might not be able to tell much, but you'd be able to tell we're walking away from you. Hey, no, where are you going? Don't. Why are you leaving? More hand motions, isn't it? It was more hand motions. Come on now.
All right.
Can I tie you to my waist? Can I tie rope to my waist and then tie it to your waist?
Sure. In situations like this.
Right? I'll just hold out the loop.
When I feel the tug, I'll just start moving.
Just walk that way. What? We're moving again? I imagine you moving like C-3PO. You're all kind of like slow, like, okay, I'm coming.
Keeping the tension in the rope.
Exactly. Getting pulled from your waist. Okay.
Alrighty. All right. So as you make your way into this back room, you see a large, kind of a common room you'd expect to find in taverns for meetings and such, situated in the back here. Plenty of seats, large enough for everyone to sit down in. And the man that you were presented to sits down across from you and pulls out an old stem pipe and begins to light it up. He says, y'all got here a little quicker than I expected. Wasn't expecting you for another day or two.
We sailed through the night.
Daddy nods. He says, that would explain it. He says, well, I'm here to give you information, so let's get down to it. We believe the cult will be here within the next 2 days or so. Our scouts saw them with several of their caravan heading towards the south part of the city. We think that they're going to make their way through, move their goods through the city, through the normal means, and then continue on somewhere else. We're just not sure if they're going north or east quite yet. We're assuming north, though.
So they're going to bring all of their things right through the city?
And with that, he kind of shrugs. He says it's normal for the city. Baldur's Gate outlaws all wagon, all horseback, unless they're being transported out of the city from entering in. Most merchants will either bring their goods to one gate, pay to have it transported to the other gate, and then procure other wagons or such to continue on their journey. But most, honestly, just sell their goods and then buy other things so that they don't have to go through that hassle. The government here is very stringent on their trade codes. That's how they make their money, you see.
Let's see. That seems to me like that the cult then is on a timeline. Why spend the money or resources to go through when you could just go around?
And he kind of chuckles at that. They would go about 400 miles out of their way to go around Baldur's Gate. That is another thing that the government has been very stringent on. No roads can be constructed anywhere near the city.
All right. So, do you have a timeline on when we should be expecting? Like you said, how long before we should be expecting them?
He said at most 2 days. It would not surprise me if they were here tomorrow, though.
So, I don't know how much you've talked with Ontar, but they're heading for a city called Natar. Familiar with it?
Squints. I've never heard of that city. Strange.
Yeah. Very strange. Especially considering with as much trade you must do in the region here. I thought, with that's the Elatar. How'd you say that? I can't remember. The city we came from, Elatar?
El Turel.
El Turel. It didn't surprise me that no one in El Turel had heard of it, but I thought a commerce capital like Baldur's Gate surely would have heard this name before. That's where the horde is taking all of their stealings.
Kind of squints and scratches his chin. He says, honestly, it's very surprising that I haven't heard of this city. Kind of motions around back towards the front of the building. It's like, I run a business here that sells wagons and everything you need for long distance travel. I've met many, many, many merchants and guards and nobles. I've never heard of this mentioned by them, though.
Apparently it's north, but that's where all of these supplies are being sent, or rather, all this bounty, stolen goods. So we need to acquire passage with the goods to make sure that we get where the goods are headed. Are you facilitating in any way the transportation of goods from one side to the other?
With that, he kind of shakes his head as I don't necessarily involve myself directly with that. However, the system usually works like this. Merchants that want to travel out of the city, especially to the north, remember names, especially to the north, because the Mere of Dead Men lies to the north from here. It's a somewhat dangerous area. Or rather, not the Mere of Dead Men, the Fields of the Dead, rather. So they hire guards per wagon. Merchant will hire 1 or 2 guards, and then all of the wagons set up a caravan. And it's kind of a understood rule that as long as you provide your own guards, the entire caravan will be safer because of it. So what I suggest, what my plan has been, after hearing everything from Froom's letter, is that all of you should look to become guards once we know which caravan this group will be employed on. Or one of them at least. It seems like they've been doing this for a while, based on what Froom and Leosin's information said. So we need to find a caravan, get you hired on as guards or civilians or something of the sort, and for you to go unnoticed long enough to figure out where they're going.
Do you have any inside information on what company they might be hiring, or if they're already hired? Who to speak to next?
He shakes his head. He's like, usually deals aren't made until the people in question are located within Baldur's Gate. However, they're pretty much going to have to come to the Black Gate to secure any kind of guards. He lets you know that essentially the way the system works is there's different companies. Use that word loosely. There's shot callers essentially that say, hey, yeah, there's loose associations that say, hey, you want to be a guard? Okay, cool. We'll find you someone to guard, and we'll take a little, a penny off of it, and then we'll set you up with a merchant. He explains that the Black Gate is the prime area where all these deals are made.
Perfect. I kind of look, to him and the rest of the group, that I think we need to find the hardest, most rough and tumble place that's out here and make a little name for ourselves.
I like the way you think.
I'm groaning.
Well, these people don't really require protection,
Why
but
are
I
you
imagine
rolling
they
dice?
but I imagine they can't march an army of kobolds anywhere near here, so they're going to need some protection too. I imagine they're only going to go for the hardest and the toughest. So I think we should make a quick name for ourselves. Like I said.
And the only thing that Akin kind of sets up, he's like, just don't get thrown in the brig before you need to leave.
No, bar fights happen all the time around here, don't they?
He kind of grins. He says, oh, most definitely.
Yeah. That's all it seems like. Isn't that right, big man? I kind of thump Stone Skull on the shoulder. Just one too many drinks.
Maybe for them.
Perfect. Well, you said we could expect as early as tomorrow. We'll send word where we end up this evening, and that's where we'll stay. Just have one of your agents reach out to us when when things are when pieces are moving, and we'll go from there.
With that, he nods. He's like, if I see anything, I'll let you know. Just make sure you keep your eyes out yourselves as well, just in case you catch anything before us.
I kind of chuckle in the background.
Well, most of you.
I imagine instead of a chuckle, just like a high pitch, like he's like you're getting attention. Excuse me. Perfect. Like, get up and extend my hand for like a handshake. Perfect. We'll be seeing you soon then.
He returns the handshake and nods, says, be careful out there.
No, we will. Get up and turn around, and Steve, keep your concoction close by. We might need to change or consume these in hope that they'll at least provide us cover from the rest of the cultists.
They're gonna get us caught.
You would kind of assume that if you wanted to make your name for yourselves, you might want to do that in your disguised form versus as a couple dragonborn.
Yeah, no, it's there wasn't going to be when I say us, I was meaning the big dude. We're just the idea. I guess we'll make sure we're all on the same page. The idea was have Stone Skull throw down, and he's going to be the name of the person that we all fall behind. He's the posse. We're part of his group because he already has a connection with the people on the inside. Is it Gregory, Harold, or?
It was Bartholomew and Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the off chance that Bartholomew and Fremont are around, they can at least vouch for us, and it provides a timeline that like just backs whatever story that we're saying. But why not? Put all our eggs in one basket. If it works, we look like geniuses. Even if it doesn't work, well, so be it. We're fighting our way through it anyway.
Get to bang some heads anyway. Doesn't matter.
Hey, we're encouraging you to have a few drinks and get into a fight. Like, I really don't think you need better friends than us.
Yeah, honestly, that's all I could ever ask for. Brings the tears to my eye.
Having a pitcher of wine and punching somebody in the face tonight.
All right. So you're able to leave Celebon's...
The 3 old kegs, is that what we're at? Oh, no. It's in town somewhere.
We can kind of just use those for wherever. You're not going to really be venturing out of town, I imagine. So
Right.
this isn't from this campaign. So yeah, you're able to find a large tavern located up about here, called the 3 Old Keg. As you're approaching it, you see several people being thrown out of it by very large bouncers. Men of the same race as Stone Skull seem to be protecting this area, or protecting this tavern, rather. But you hear raucous laughter and loud music coming from it. Gives you off the impression of a place you could stir the pot as it was.
I'm gonna keep my cloak drawn around me and pulled up, trying to stay as inconspicuous as possible.
Okay.
All right. I guess we're doing this then. Walk up to the door. Are the guards or bouncers or whatever, are they stopping entry into the building?
Nope.
All right. Going to shove the door open and start making my way inside.
Alrighty. What's everybody else doing?
I'm gonna stay right next to Tara.
Yeah, I'm staying next to Max, so I'm waiting on his movement.
I'm using prestidigitation to make sparks just fly out of Stone Skull's head.
Okay.
You know, just like really cheesy like 80s metal pyrotechnics.
Oh, nice. Sparklers.
Oh yeah, everyone knows he's here.
Need good music for this.
Anything by Dropkick Murphys might work really well right now.
I'll go with this. All right, so Stone Skull is making his way into the three old kegs. As he walks in, kind of sparks flying off of his head onto his shoulders and bouncing to the ground. The two very large bouncers kind of raise an eyebrow as he walks in there, but they, only being the same size as him, kind of let him through, keeping a wary eye on him. Oh, okay, bitch.
One step away from Nickelback.
This is a good song, you fuck.
I mean,
For a bar fight?
know.
Well, yeah, it's a
Oh.
good song, but it doesn't mean I consider Green Day badass.
This is true.
The song at the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, any Pennywise. Dropkick Murphys. Ooh, that is also
Okay.
a good one.
So, as I said, Stone Cold makes his way to the bar. You're able to see various small skirmishes around this very large building. It seems like there's stairways on the northwest and northeast side leading up to another level, and you hear heavy footsteps and chairs sliding around up above you. Kind of assume that this whole area or these two floors are both tavern areas, bars. You see a couple of different areas, not areas, bars, proper bars, stocked by several bartenders, going about various customers that are going to and from the bar and back to their tables.
Okay. Is there a specific area that looks a little rougher than the others out of this group of people?
Off to,
Tell me there's a fighting circle.
I mean,
off to your right, you see several fights. It seems like a makeshift circle has been kind of made. You see a couple of guards kind of overlooking it, but it doesn't seem like anybody's dying, so they aren't really jumping in to stop anything. But there's definitely a couple fights going on in the middle of this circle.
well, I guess I found my new hangout. And make my way over there, and as I'm passing by the bar, call for a couple ales. Slowly make my way over there and kind of overlook to see what's going on in this little circle.
So inside of it, as you kind of muscle your way through, a couple people try to shove you and then realize how large you are and decide better of it. So you're able to easily move your way up to the edge of the circle. You see two normal-sized humans wrestling around on the ground. They seem more drunk than angry at each other. However, the other side, you see two men kind of squaring up. They both have daggers on their hips, but they don't seem to be reaching for them. They're just going back and forth, kind of grappling. Seem to be a little bit more trained at how to fight hand-to-hand combat.
And does it look like those two individuals are just getting started?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Is there... are they taking bets or anything of that nature?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see various individuals around. collecting money. Seems like 2 or 3 of them are collecting money from everyone in the circle. And they keep pointing to different of the 2 guys that are standing up. They seem to all be ignoring the 2 rolling around on the floor.
Okay. Whoever is kind of gathering and taking money, gonna walk up to him and say, "I've got the winner."
Kind of Weasley fellow looks up at, directly at your chest as he gets done counting money, and then raises his head up to stare you as best he can up to your face and says,
Does anything dramatically fall out of his mouth?
No, nothing dramatically falls out of his mouth. He got a raise in an eyebrow. He says, "All right, big fella. Won't be much of a betting you against those little guys, though."
I didn't say the little guys. I want to fight these 2, and point over to the 2 that are kind of squaring up against each other.
I'm gonna rib Max, and start loudly hype manning him, just like around the bar, going like, "Oh shit, Stone Skull's doing it again."
I mentioned over to Aaron. Go grease some palms. Take some big coin and throw it on the table.
All right.
All right.
So as that's happening, going around, the 2 men kind of grapple back and forth. One of them's able to almost expertly trip the other one over onto the ground and put him into a chokehold. And after a few agonizing moments of this man's giant, almost meaty bicep choking this guy, he taps on the ground and he lets him go. With that, the one that won stands up and kind of flexes over in the air, yelling, a battle cry into the air, and everybody cheers. A few people around you are groaning as they're obviously losing their winnings or losing their bets.
Ooh, you puny man.
As you say that, the man turns towards you and walks up, and even though he's about a foot shorter than you, he looks up at you and square in the eye and says, "You talking to me?"
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that I'm speaking to you.
The drugs are really kicking in.
Apparently.
Fairly certain.
He's like, "Big mouth on you, big man. Anything else you're good at doing aside from talking?"
Got an awful big fist that I could show you to.
Then he kind of grins. He says, "You can try." I'm trying to figure out which stat block I want to use for this dude.
Preferably the one that's not going to kill Stone Skull. We need.
Don't care what you want. I do what I want. All right.
I for the hell of it, I use prestidigitation and just make Stone Skull smell like licorice.
Licorice?
Yeah, just, something that stands out.
All right.
The somewhat bigger man standing next to you kind of twinges his nose. He says,
Licorice?
"You smell sweet. It's unbecoming of someone challenging me to a fight. I don't even know if I want to fight you anymore."
I'm over at the bar now, slamming 10 gold on the counter. I say, "All right, guys, I'm giving 2-to-1 odds. Anyone who can take down my man Stone Skull, the Candy Man."
The Candy Man.
Yeah, I hope you all hate his new personality.
Oh, the Candy Man.
And with that, you see a couple of the other ones that were seem to be taking money from others. He says, "We're the ones that run the stakes here. You want to take 2-to-1 odds?" Talking to you, Aaron.
That's right. Who you got? Who's gonna take on my boy?
With that, he shrugs. He says, "I just take the money. I don't bet." With that, he grabs the money that you had slammed down and he starts chanting around the room, 2-to-1 odds, the Candyman versus Glog.
More sparks.
You hear Tara just mumble under her breath, "Clog." Ugh.
Eventually what's going to happen is he's going to keep building this up that it's going to turn into a WWE entrance into this fight.
That's what it feels like with Volby going on in the background.
Right?
I can't cast invisibility, so I cannot make you John Cena. I'm sorry.
We can make this a team effort. I can.
With Fi's blowing all your spell slots right now. All right, so after the fanfare and such, everybody begins gathering around, making another circle around Glog and Stone Skull. He kind of bars up, once again, saying, "All right, wrestling, or do you want just an old-fashioned beat down?"
Well, if you're really interested in getting your brain smacked around a bit, then I guess I'll give you a nice beat down.
Daddy kind of laughs. He's like, good. Not time to knock you down a few pegs. With that, he lunges at you for attack. Give me
You're not even going to oil each other up?
That's nasty.
Come on now.
Give me a dex save real quick. See if you can dodge his punch. Oh yeah, you're able to easily just sidestep around his punch, move your head away from it, and you can attack yourself. Just give me a strength check.
Oh, I was just gonna do an unarmed, but yeah, I could do that.
Oh,
that's a save. Hold on, that's a save.
Okay, I was gonna say, come on, you got a good arm strike. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, his dex save is not gonna be that good. So you clobber him right in the face. His nose is broken, begins to bleed. His lips already starting to grow from the that meaty fist you just planted right in the middle of his face. With that being said, he's going to charge forward and almost unsteadily is going to swing his arm at you again. Another dex save. Oof, this guy rolls like shit.
Oh, that was terrible.
You're barely able to step out of the way of it. The side of his fist kind of glances across your chin, but you're able to not take any damage from it and return fire how you would want to.
All right. With that, after seeing him take a good beating from the first hit, Stone Skull's going to put his left arm behind his back and just knock him once with his right hand.
Okay. Strength check.
Oh, I'm going to toy with him.
Oh, I am.
Oh, but he got a little cocky, unfortunately. So his Stone Skull puts his hand behind his back and lunges forward. The man easily reaches up and slaps his fist aside and returns with another fist straight to your face. And I'll say you're kind of off balance, so give me a dex save with disadvantage.
The first one.
Yeah. So he plants his fist right between your eyes, just right into your upper nose area. It hurts like a sumbitch, but he didn't quite break your nose. But you're able to retaliate now.
Okay. I'm not coming off of the one-handed thing, so I'm gonna go for it again.
Better this time. Let's see. Yep, you hit him this time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Cinderella man.
Yeah. So yeah, come around with the right hook, kind of back away as he's trying to hit me, and just come right around with the hook and just right to his head.
All right, so you just clock him right on the side of the temple, and he goes down like a sack of potatoes and hits the ground. The crowd around you erupts. There's a lot fewer people groaning in disappointment now. It seems like it was kind of a weighted fight in your favor, being the size difference and such. The guy's not moving. A couple guys seem to be his friends. Reach down and kind of cradle under his armpits and take him away, dragging him out of the circle.
And Stone Skull's gonna watch him drag him away and say, "Make sure you put him in a comfy bed. Remind him of the train that hit him on the way out."
Hear slight murmurs around you. What the hell's a train?
It's a caravan hit him, and every wagon in the whole thing. God, I wish I wasn't Dragonborn trying to keep a low profile. I'd totally be fucking Chris Tucker and Friday. You got knocked the fuck out. You got knocked the fuck out. One-handed. Like, I want to be your hype man so bad right now. I just want you to know inside I'm raging that I can't do this for you.
Yeah,
I got you. I'm the guys I way out. I say, hey, wipe yourself. You're bleeding.
Give me a straight charisma check. Scott.
You waited this long to make that happen?
Yeah, I'm starting to make it actually affect things. So.
Oh,
that's unfortunate.
What you gonna do? I'm a wolf in sheep's clothes.
I'm still warming up.
Still warming up, yeah. So the hype is kind of dying down a little bit, but the one that originally took your money, Arun, and the one that Stone Skull talked to says, "You want to go again, big fella?"
where they at? I've been waiting.
You see a almost mischievous grin spread across his face. He says, "Hey, Darwin, He turns around. You see one of the ones you thought was a bouncer had actually sat down and was drinking. He stands back up and drinking from the pitcher, not from a glass, kind of wipes the ale away from his face. He says, "Oh, this one want any?" Referring to you, Stone Skull.
Oh, yes. This one wants some.
That he kind of lets out a bestial growl and yell and moves out of the circle towards you.
By the way, none of y'all have noticed, but Tara has slipped away to a bar and is just happily drinking by herself.
Drinking in air quotes.
Hey, you want to go again?
We saw what happened last time.
All right, Stone Skull, what candy do you want to be this time?
Do like peppermint.
Peppermint.
The opposite of licorice.
All right. Got a song picked out now. All right. So as you're moving into the area, squaring up, you see this man is a... What are you? You're a Goliath, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see this man is another Goliath, not quite as tall as you, but the difference of a few inches does not seem to matter too much. He's very beefy, but with that, he offers you the same thing that Glog did. He's like, "You want to wrestle? Or you want to just go fists?"
And thinks about it for a second, and he's like, "Let's go fists again."
That he nods, and you see the kind of weaselly man step up. He says, all right, you are a little bit more evenly matched. No killing in here, otherwise the owners get a little bit angsty. They don't like having too much blood on their floors, you see. But other than that, anything goes. He steps away out of the way of the very large men about to fight. With that being said, with your hype, I'll let you go first this time.
Okay. So kind of play into the crowd a little bit, and then taking a quick right cross, almost trying to catch him off guard, as I'm kind of paying more attention to the crowd. See what happens here.
Oh,
Holy shit.
All right,
Yes,
let's see if
you
he
did.
nat 20s his.
You were
He
like
did
a
not.
cobra,
So,
coiled snake.
roll me a 1d10.
Oh, God.
Oh man. Come on, 10.
Aiming for high again. Yeah, got it.
Oh.
All right, so as you bring your fist around, it just crunches against him. It seems like he was kind of looking around at the crowd, was not ready for it. And you catch him almost with a sucker shot, and he drops like a sack of potatoes and falls to the ground. As he's slumping over, though, he puts his hands down and stands back up kind of uneasily. He says, "That was pretty good. My turn." Roll me a dex save.
Ooh,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
awful.
So he is upset with that shot you just took, and he catches you in the face. Rolled an 18.
Oh,
Catches you right in the noggin. You start to feel yourself slumping over from the impact. Much meatier hit than what you took from the first guy. But you're able to keep your feet. Wasn't quite as hard as your hit. And you're able to retaliate now.
All right. Coming back around, going for an uppercut. Again, leading with the right hand here.
All right. Everybody else that's in the bar kind of watching this fight, give me perception checks. Not Stone Skull.
Or Tara.
Or Tara, yeah. She's not.
Yeah, I'm not
She's
watching.
not there.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
I am.
All right, so Stone Skull, your hit
Man.
lands once again. He didn't roll quite high enough. Maximilian, as you're kind of watching this fight, you see somewhat smaller individual, almost looks like to be a halfling or something in size, cloaked up, and you see the glint of a dagger moving towards Stone Skull's back. Your hit landed, by the way, Stone Skull.
Okay.
I imagine I trade looks with Steve. We both noticed.
Oh, yeah, you both noticed it. You noticed it first, though.
I'm gonna put my hand on Steve's back and like push him towards, and say, "Get him," and or stop him and push him towards the small halfling, and I'm gonna move through to get the Stone Skull's back to intercept the guy. Preparing to intercept him if he decides to lunge in.
All right, you might have a very good opportunity. Give me a dex save, Stone Skull, as he retaliates once more, bringing a cross elbow across you. Yeah, he hits you hard. It actually catches you right on the upper brow and cuts your, above your brow, cuts it open. Blood starts leaking down to your eye as he rolled a nat 20.
Oh, wow.
So he catches you. It's really hard to see now. You're almost partially blinded. But that being said, Maximilian is moving up behind you. If he wants to do anything, he can.
Me or him?
Maximilian.
Yeah.
What do I? No, I'm not. I mean, I'm just again trying to keep a low profile, but I'm letting them do their thing. Continue the ruse. I don't want to blow our cover.
Okay. Steve, you're about 4 or 5 feet away from the cloaked figure. If you want to do anything.
I want to try and sneak up behind him and put a hand on his shoulder.
Okay, he not. I mean, can't see you or anything because of the hood of his cloak, so you're able to easily put your hand on his shoulder.
All right. That's not a good idea, friend.
Give me an intimidation check as he turns around to look at you.
Nope.
Not at
you
all.
kind of off surprise, so I'll give you advantage on that. You see this very small man has a kind of almost wrinkled is the best way to describe it nose. It seems to go off in different areas. Seems like it's been broken a lot of times. Turns towards you and kind of gawks. No, he gawks at you. He says, "What are you talking about? I wasn't gonna do nothing."
Mm-hmm.
That he quickly sheathes the knife and rustles loose of you and turns to walk away from you all. Stone Skull, you're able to retaliate.
Batista bombing over there.
I did once again. I just dropped the hammer a second time.
Oh shit!
The headbutt.
14's not going to be enough. Yeah, you're going to knock this guy out. Give me some flavor how you did it.
All right, so after taking the shot and kind of falling back and blood's kind of pouring down his face, he's going to reach up and clear his eyes so he can see. And with that bloody hand, with his left hand that he hasn't been using, he's just going to come right across and just a nice little cross and just gets him right across the chin.
Yeah, that precise shot, it catches him as he's kind of... You notice he was kind of looking off to your back right for some reason, because you were unaware of his friend that was trying to even the odds a little bit. But as he's looking over that way, you catch him right on the chin. It's not even really a forceful hit, but it's enough to just knock him back on his ass. He falls down. Yeah, hit the button. He kind of wavers and sitting on his butt for a few seconds and then falls backwards, with a heavy dunk as he hits the barroom floor. And he is night-night.
He is night-night.
And with that, you hear the Weasley man pipe up and he says, "Well, the Candy Man does it again. I think that's enough for tonight." And he walks back over to Arun.
Yeah. How do you enjoy my guy?
He ain't got nobody else to tell. Did you go to sleep tonight?
He kind of grimaces and he says, I think he's a little too good at what he does, but he shrugs and hands you a small sack of gold containing 66 pieces of gold.
Holy fuck.
It's like, here's your winnings now. That's enough for tonight. Get out of here.
Nod to him with a nice smile. I'm gonna slam I don't know, say like the original 10 gold back down and say a round of drinks on the Candy Man.
And he kind of grunts. Very well, very well.
And Stone Skull, after all of this, having his bell rung a little bit, is going to walk over to the bar and immediately grab another couple ales and down them as quickly as possible.
Backhand slide you one, because I had it waiting without even looking at you.
Just start pounding them.
Yeah, how's your eye?
It's been better. But at least I didn't end as bad as he did.
Can you just imagine, like, I use, like, faint healing energy just to get it to seal without actually having to expend it? Well, I cast, a fucking spell and just stitch your eye and face back up. We need you. We might need you at 100%. Can't have that getting in the way.
You think a little scratch like this would stop me?
If only I was a cleric, this would be so much better.
This is an excellent D&D song, and I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Dracula. This would be perfect for Strahd.
Oh man. Yeah, it's time to have a few drinks. Basically want to gauge the room and make sure people are still talking about the festivities. Are there any like mercenary looking groups around?
Give me some perception checks for anybody kind of looking into that.
I'm focused on my ale. I don't care about anything else right now.
Mm.
Oh God.
Oh.
So as you're kind of looking around, you hear
That's rough.
different conversations going on about the Candyman and the Big One. Can't really tell if they're speaking kindly or poorly of him, but the consensus seems to be almost exaggerated tales of his prowess in martial battle.
Excellent.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep an ear out as we're having a few drinks to anything I hear about a caravan, any hirings, specifically looking for some big bad guys.
let's find
Anything
some
heading north.
free music here.
Nothing
Something
as
that
of
won't
yet.
get my
No, I was just
stream
saying.
tagged.
Yeah, and I just persistent. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Go.
Taking pictures of all my dice because I can.
Those are pretty.
I got the real pretty one coming up in a second.
That
much
red
as
and
I
black
love the-
D20.
Yeah, that was my extra D20 to throw into the group.
Well, that was fun. I got to beat up on a couple of people.
Anything else y'all would like to investigate? Anything else clever you'd like to do?
No, I'm good. I'm just chilling. I'm waiting. Impatiently so.
Yeah, I'm just refreshing the different smell of candy around him.
You need butterscotch. Why do you beat me up? Butterscotch, baby. Just to let me down.
Oh God.
Please no. All right.
He is the bard.
All right. So as you're going through, kind of listening on, you get word of a few shot callers, as it were, kind of eyeing on Stone Skull. Don't really hear any mention of anybody else. For good reason, nobody else really fought. So
I'm gonna.
as the night progresses on,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't even think about asking the bartender.
it's always an option.
Yeah. When he comes back around, I love this song too. That's a great one-on-one song. No, it's like hail the bartender, like a barkeep. My large friend and I, we are looking for some work, specifically any guard related. Nobody really seems to mess with us when he's around. We were told that this is the place to come if we wanted to grab work on one of the caravans.
With that, the bartender doing the atypical cleaning a mug, kind of nods, looks you up and down as best he can see with your large cloak on there. He says, "Aye, Blackgate is where you come to get hired on as a guard or a mercenary, as it were. Your big friend probably wouldn't have much trouble. However, they don't hire groups. It's usually 1, 2, maybe 3, and each one has to really prove his prowess to be able to protect the merchant or noble or whoever does the hiring."
How close am I to hearing all of this?
I would say you're probably sitting next to him, so you can overhear the conversation.
Hearing that they're saying, that they typically don't hire groups. Stone Skull kind of perks up and he says, "Well, you see, I'd rather have my friends with me. I at least know that they can hold their own. I can't trust many other people around here.
With that, he kind of shrugs and says, "Don't talk to me, friend. Go talk to one of the leaders of those groups. They'll get you squared away one way or another. Or they won't. Who knows?"
Where can we find any one of those guys to talk to?
Kind of says, "Right now, probably drinking out in here somewhere, but I couldn't point you to any of them. During the day, though, they go around hiring people for any expected merchants going out to the north or the east of the city. You would be able to ask around and be able to find one, I would think."
Well, do you have any rooms for let? So we might stay here. We can just catch up with them in the morning.
He turns around and looks at what you know to be a key box. He says, "I got a couple of rooms left. If you get it very quick."
How much for? Do you have adjoining rooms?
Yeah, he nods. He says,
We'll take 3 of them then.
kind of raised an eyebrow. He said, "I have 2 rooms left, friend."
Two will have to do that.
Then he nods. "That'd be 5 gold, friend."
I slide 5 gold pieces across. But as I slide them on the table, I slide them in a stack, but keep my finger on top of them, like press down real hard. Well, I have your understanding that if any of these gentlemen show up looking for work, that you'll send someone up to let us know, right?
Give me a persuasion check.
That's a good
With that, he
persuasion.
kind of looks down and begins to drag away the 5 gold pieces and looks you up and kind of raises an eyebrow. He says, I'll let him know."
Perfect. Thank you. And another round for me and my friends.
He nods and goes to procure more ale for you. Notice there's not really anything else to drink here. It's just lots and lots of ale.
Makes sense. I slide the other key across the table to Averin. So we only have 2 rooms, but we'll have to make do. At least until the morning.
It's just a night. Should be fine.
Yeah, with the size of this tavern, you would assume that they would be large enough to hold you all in 2 rooms.
I'm going to go upstairs and check the accommodations. I'll be back down in a moment. Yeah, I just want to go up and check the rooms, make sure nothing's out of place.
As Max leaves, Tara's just a stone skull.
Do what now? You kind of broke up.
Said as Max is leaving, Tara's going to slide another beer to Stone Skull.
Okay.
You're still nursing your first one, right, Tara?
No, I've been drinking this whole time.
Slow down.
Let the DM
Take your
decide.
time. So what happened last time? You had a few too many. Getting sick everywhere.
You want a Constitution save? Because that's how you get a Constitution save.
This stuff is not very strong. It's going to take a little bit to earn that right of a save. Yeah, it's the Wells shit.
It's probably watered down too to cut it so it goes farther.
So you get the impression that with all these people here, it's like they don't need too much alcohol added into the mix to turn a volatile situation more flammable. So, so basically, you are going to be able to go through the night, as it were. You kind of one of you have kind of made a name for themselves, so that's been accomplished. If there's any information you would like to kind of gather, you can do that. Otherwise, you can kind of just drink and be merry for the rest of the night, and then go to the next day.
How many days do we have before they all arrive?
1 to 2. He wasn't sure.
All right, so that doesn't work. I got a backup plan for the next day.
Yeah, do I see anybody who's looking like they're carrying themselves like mercenaries? Armed and armored.
Give me another perception check.
That's good perception check too.
You don't see anybody really wearing armor. It seems like this is kind of the place to go once you're off duty or in between jobs. So you see most people wearing, very plain, wouldn't say rune sacks or anything as clothing, but that kind of basic attire, as it were, that you would expect rough and tumble people to wear. A few of them, however, do hold themselves a little bit better. They seem to not let the alcohol get to them too much. They kind of watch their surroundings and keep an eye out. You would assume these guys are either, soldiers of some kind or mercenaries, people that have seen battle.
Professionals.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to kind of make a mental note, that there are some people here. Again, I'm gonna talk, kind of pull everyone to the side. And, if any conversations need to happen to try and track some people down, I'm gonna rely on you to go initiate those conversations. I still want to keep Steve and my appearance to, around here to a minimum. They were looking for us in Greenest, a party with a couple dragons more in it. The less we're spotted, the less I think suspicions will arise.
All right.
But yeah, so and then I'll just have a few more drinks and head up and call it a night.
Anybody else trying to do anything specific? Search for anything or anything of that nature?
Do I notice anybody watching particularly closely to my actions and what I'm doing?
Not anybody really overwatching you, as it were. It just seems like a lot of people noticed you. You're getting the natural attention of just being a Goliath in a city predominantly populated by humans. So you're way larger. But nobody seems to really be watching you with untoward feelings or anything of that nature, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Could you imagine going to a bar in like a shadier part of town to have a few drinks with you and your boys, and you go in, there's like an 8-foot tall dude like chiseled out of stone and sit by the bar? I'm like, I'm not messing with that dude.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna sit on that side of the bar.
Yeah, give him plenty of space. Like, you see that dude? Yeah, he came in here and beat the shit out of Glog and his buddies. Like, oh, of course he did. Yeah.
So that's y'all's mentality. That's very different than mine as a little dude. I go in and make friends with that guy. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? You want a drink? I'll buy you 4.
No, I'm instantly sizing him up. Like, all right, am I gonna have to fight this guy? All right, how strong do his knees look?
The knees are our weakest point. Please don't.
Gotta get right for the side of the knee. Now you're on my level. I can see eye to eye.
We can fix this real quick.
The moment that ever happens to me is when a bar chair comes out of nowhere.
All right. Okay, so you're able to party on the night. No more real big fights or anything. It seems people were more involved with the festivities instead of drinking and various card games, things of that nature that you would expect in a tavern. Go on, but you're able to drink on and head off to bed that night, not getting too sloshed, knowing that you need to probably get up and start looking around for work the next day. And with that, we'll move on to day 2. I'll go ahead and change the music back. So, you get on to the next day. Tara and Stone Skull, give me con saves.
Con saves? Thought you said that was swill. Man.
Yeah, you ever had cheap booze?
So,
don't be disappointed, Tara. It happens to the best of us.
It's swill and rooflin.
Tara drank a little bit longer than everybody else and was kind of going a little bit harder at it after her kind of disappointing performance with Froome. But she's able to fight off the hangover and not really get too bogged down by it. Stone's go much of the same. Your kind of wounds and aches from the night before, the cut over your eye is sealed, so you're not feeling too bad or anything the next day. But y'all wake up in the upper floors of the 3 old kegs, and you're welcome to do whatever you want.
Breakfast. I want to make a big deal of eating. I like eating. So Max likes eating.
Is that bacon?
As you make your way downstairs,
What is this rule?
where's my food table? There it is. Why am I doing that? I have a die. Fuck you. Where's my 1d8? Is that a 1d8? What is that?
Yeah. Rolled a
I don't
3.
The, the one that has more than 6 sides, but less than 10.
Oh.
Count though. That one.
What's the highest number on it?
4, 8. There
Does
we
it
go.
have a 9 on it?
No, look, I rolled a 3 too. Yeah, it's the one that looks like a dual-sided pyramid or a diamond or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
Like
you're able to go
2d4?
down. Yeah, essentially. You're able to go through and look around and kind of smell in the air. As Max kind of described it, it's more so cruel that they have down there. It's kind of a sloshy, watered down oatmeal, as well as some partially fresh, mostly stale bread. It seems like this accommodation is not known for its.
I want to go to the bartender and ask him what it would take to have some cured meat fetched, if nothing else.
The bartender kind of looks at you and then, does that rubbing his fingers together motion. We could probably procure some for the right price.
How about procure some for the champion of the tavern?
Yeah, with that I'll mention, you wouldn't want the your new champion to go eat somewhere else, would you?
Give me an intimidation or persuasion check, whichever you would like to do, Max.
I've got my dogs outside real quick. Can you just hit it for me?
Which one do you want to do?
Persuasion. I'm not trying to. I'll let you know if I'm trying to intimidate anybody. I mean, I'm trying to scare them. This is more like, hey, we can go somewhere else. We don't have to eat here.
Okay, yeah, he nods. He says, "I suppose not." All right, very well. Go wait at the table. I'll get to you in a minute.
I'll smile. Perfect, thank you. And I'll set two gold pieces down on the bar, side by side with 2 fingers, and slide it towards him. And then grab a bowl of slop, and I want a big bowl or a couple small bowls, and essentially an entire loaf of bread.
Yeah, 2 gold pieces would be enough for everybody to eat their fill. So.
Okay, perfect. Because I plan on going down.
After a few minutes, some what do we want it to be? Some cured sausage and such is brought up there to you. It's kind of salted meat, edible as it were. You'd kind of want to either cook it or something for it to be really good, but you could eat it now if you wanted. And that's what he slops down on the table for you.
Is there a fire?
There's a fireplace.
Yeah, just go move up and use utensils, a knife or fork or something like that. Just put 2 or 3 on a knife and put almost my whole hand into the fire. Not really, but farther than a normal person could without being hurt.
Not really. Say not really caring.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's just not gonna hurt me. Just put it right in there and cook them until the skins pop.
You have some cooked sausage.
Mm-hmm. I want to take the same implement and start. I want to cook them all like that, and then just cut them up and leave them on a bowl on the table for everybody.
Okay.
Pop a handful of them in my bowl of gruel and just go to town. Over a mouthful. Just tell everybody I've got the bartender looking out for mercenary groups, and he's going to alert us if any show up looking for work. I'm still going to, and I suggest Steve too, to maintain a low profile. And if we go out, don't go out as an entire group. Go out in 2s and 3s. We should also let Akin know that we're staying here and to send any information our way. But we'll just make sure to maintain a presence here.
I can go give the information to Akin, and then I will head back here.
Is sending the blind girl out to do it in a city the best idea? You don't exactly blend in.
I'm assuming that this is the dirt road spot, so I'll be able to find my way.
Yeah, it's got wood floors.
Once he gets inside, he can find the building.
In the bar, but I can find the building.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine you're probably tracing your own footsteps. It's like a secondary thing anyway.
Yeah. That's what I was imagining.
Cognizant of where you are.
Just looking for Stone Skull's feet imprints in the ground and then following those.
Be a little difficult saying that there's other Goliaths in this town, but I'll kind of think of what your plan of action is going to be this next day. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break so I can get more water and pee. So, you're right back.
Okay.
You heard the man. 5-minute break.
How does everyone feel about me
figure it
going to
out.
the docks and just shooting seagulls at
I mean,
Shooting.
if you want to. I don't see any reason not to.
Did he bring us any food?
Yeah, he brought us a bunch of food.
Okay.
Nothing you really want, but it's food.
And gruel, bread, and some cooked sausage. Fresh sausage, anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
take the
Willie, what's your
sausage.
address again? I got a pizza send.
No, I don't want anyone. Keep it up. I'm gonna take a violent gruel sausage deuce in your quiver.
I will take that, harden it, and then shoot it back at you.
Sorry, my AC's good, and I know. I'll take that.
You can think that.
I'm pretty all right.
I would say I would throw an earthen bolt at y'all, but I'll miss.
I'll miss. Don't make me make you go night night, because you will go night night. I mean,
This
you,
is
Ferguson.
true.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I can't wait till we get a little bit more renown with the cult, so I don't have to I don't have to go hide everywhere.
Well, not all renown is good renown, so.
Well, that's fine as long as it's to the point where hiding really isn't much of an option. That to me goes hand in hand with being a little bit stronger. Yeah, go for it. Know where I am. It's not really gonna matter. It's just, no, so knowing is half the battle. Yeah, doing something's the other half, and that's the imperative part.
Are you
Know where
sure
you
you
want-
want to fight
Alright,
us?
What do
I
you
mean,
You're back.
Okay, yeah, like you want to find it. What are you gonna do with that information there, Slim?
if you're ever looking for us, we'll just tell you where we're at.
I hate for something bad to happen to you.
Hmm. Yeah. Good stuff. Alright, so should be coming back from break here. Yes. Alright. Gotta tell you, I'm really looking forward to going barbarian.
Right, you just kind of come undone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be me too. I'm excited to go paladin. I'm gonna, the smiting, so much smiting.
My cleric just went paladin as well. And that it's kind of a weird character, but last week when we played, it actually worked really well. Because it's a war cleric with defensive paladin spec.
Okay.
So basically, it's more of a control spec, and I get to kind of taunt and keep the attention on me, and then at the same time, I can heal myself or heal others, or things of that nature. It's pretty good. It did
It's a
really
pretty
well.
solid tank.
It did really well against everything. I mean, Havoc was hitting me with freaking everything last week, and I was still standing. Although at one point it was just barely standing, I was still standing.
With everybody's attention on you.
Yeah. It's like I can impose disadvantage on people because of the protection style, which helped them a lot because I didn't have to worry about them at that point. It was just as long as I can keep them focused on me and then keep up with the damage, I'm good.
Yeah, that's because I'm trying to go like control marshal, so I can lead out and do DPS and then battlefield control from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get level 6, I believe, with the other Bard School trait, every time I cast a spell as a bonus action, I can take an attack.
Yeah, and this spec on this character is going to be control based, but it's going to be like frontline DPS control based,
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I'm glad I got my AC up a little bit. Now I can be the kind of character more so than I wanted to be.
That's why I kind of picked it. It's like,
Right, I like it.
which one. I was like, well, let's give him the most he can get, even though it's going to hurt his stealth a little bit, but I don't think it'll be that big a deal.
I'm not, I've got answers for stealth.
Oh, you mean you're not going to give him Mithril?
No, I'm not.
Not even Dragon Scale?
Getting nothing of that sort.
I'm good with that.
My cleric is so fucking overpowered with the AC right now. I'm at he's level 7 total. Yeah, level 7 total, and is setting at a 21 AC right now.
Ouch.
Silly.
So ridiculous.
Noob DM mistakes.
I love the fact that Legrados's armor is that like blue and purple and gold too, so it's like gold accent. It's all with the purple stuff. Like, it's awesome.
I still have his great sword in my pouch or on my back.
And his horn.
And his horn that I'm chiseling into something.
Yeah, I imagine that they just had to fuse a lot of that to make it breastplate, so it would fit me. It wouldn't be oversized.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wish I need a helmet. I want a cool helmet, but Havoc, that's on my wish list. FYI.
You can give him.
There's dragon people floating around, so
you can give him the dread helm from Xanathar's. It just makes his eyes glow red. That's all it does. It doesn't add anything. It just makes his eyes glow red.
Whoa, who's that guy? It's a bard.
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense
just
now.
a bard.
Yeah, big ears. Dramatic motherfucker. Look, if it makes my eyes go red, it has to change my voice and make it like ultra low.
So what? Zorn's gonna talk for you from now on?
I guess it's a voice changer. Hey, guys, it's me. You're like, what?
It's
no,
me.
for real, guys. Yeah, no, it's Max. No,
It's me.
Damn helmet up. Hey, look, it's me. I know it's crazy what it does to my voice, right?
Unfortunately, you got it from Vlagan, so every once in a while your voice will be like, just back and forth.
Oh, come on, that's not what I want my voice to sound like.
This is the opposite of what I wanted. Precisely.
Or I could see a Max get into a fight and have the helmet on, and he's laughing and chuckling, and then somebody hits him, and as he's laughing, the helmet knocks off of his head, and his voice changes as he's laughing, and then it's like this real creepy, weird voice change. Just, yeah.
Right.
And he reversed puberty. What the hell?
What the hell just happened?
See Steve unmuted. Zorn, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm got my mic muted, but I'm here. Just keep.
Scott went to grab a drink.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Oh, I thought he was back. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. All right.
The Water Queen's house is
Where's my
here.
other notes? There we go.
That is.
I have 6 different note sheets open right now, just so y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right. Okay, so y'all made it through the first day or the night and everything. Got some food in you. What do y'all want to do?
We're still trying to hunt down the guard company, or one of the groups that are running guard duty here.
Okay. Based on the description that you were given from the bartender and everything, you feel like you could probably easily find somebody out on the streets here in the Black Gate, offering jobs out to prospective mercenaries and such.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go and wander through the Black Gate and see what we can find.
All right. So is everybody doing this? Anybody venturing off to do anything else, or everybody gonna wander together?
No, I'm gonna stay put. Just stay so we have a presence at the inn.
I was kind of thinking that Stone Skull would go because he's, now kind of got a little bit of a reputation, so he'll go around and see what he can find.
Keep building on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Well, Stone Skull, as you're walking around, you've been seeing, different kind of burly men, obviously looking like mercenaries or the sort, populating the area. You see a couple people standing out of the side of the roads, kind of shouting out, crying out, mercenaries wanted, things of that nature. You see some signs saying the same thing. It seems like a couple of these people would be able to get you hired on, depending on your qualifications.
Okay. Does there appear to be one that looks like they handle themselves a little bit better than the others? They're not just like, random people out in the street saying they're looking for, mercenaries. Like a larger, like a traveling mercenary group or something. So somebody with a little more renown in the area.
You see a few people, like I said, just standing next to signs and stuff and kind of yelling out to the crowd, yelling at people that look strong and such.
Mm-hmm.
You see one that seems to be a little bit, you see an actual kind of a shack, as it were, kind of one you would expect to see small goods sold at.
Mm-hmm.
However, the sign does read the same, mercenaries wanted, and you see a very grizzled man, not really calling out or anything, seems to be actually cleaning his nails with a knife, very casually. Sitting behind the desk there. Looks a little bit more professional than the other ones, I guess.
Okay. Gonna walk over to him and kind of look around and say, "Look, are you looking for some mercenaries for hire?"
And with that, the man kind of lazily looks up towards you and raises an eyebrow, kind of sizing you up very quickly. He says, "Maybe, friend. You be offering?"
Well, myself and a few of my traveling companions are looking for work.
Daddy kind of nods. He says, "Well, our guard will be sending out a few people out to Waterdeep here in the next few days. We're just waiting for a few more merchants to join the caravan to make it worth our money."
And how much are you paying for the travels and for people to accompany?
For you, make an athletics check. Or a persuasion check if you would rather do that.
Yeah. I'll stick with that. That's fine.
Okay. He kind of, once again, kind of sized you up, looking over, your rippling muscles and stuff. Looks over, he says, "For you, I could probably get you on as a sergeant. Pays about 8 gold pieces per 10 day. Food and living expenses on the road are paid for, though."
And I have a few friends. How many are you accepting at the moment?
That he kind of casually shrugs, says, "Not sure." I'll know more when we have more merchants and figure out how many they want to hire. And I don't hire anybody without seeing them first.
Very well. I will check with my companions and come back.
He nods. He says, very well.
Kind of wander around a little bit. I want to kind of get a feel for the amount of pay and kind of see if there's anybody offering different jobs, like where they're going to.
Okay. As you're walking around, going back and forth between places, first give me a perception check.
Okay.
Okay. So as you're walking around, you talk to a few more people, some of the more loud-spoken ones. They don't offer anywhere near what this gentleman offered, ranging everything from 2 gold pieces a day, no living expenses or food paid for, all the way up to 5. Doesn't seem like any of them have the coin to really offer out what he was offering for.
And he was offering the 8, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
For you, at least.
Right.
However, as you're kind of walking around talking to one, you get done speaking to him and turn around, and you see a very familiar face walking through the crowd with another group of people. You recognize this as Fremont Poulter.
No, your
All right.
boy.
So, as I'm kind of wandering around and I see him, I kind of shout out, "As I live and breathe, Fremont!" Try to get his attention.
With that, he kind of stops and, has a, confused look on his face and turns around. And as he does so, he just breaks out in a very large grin. He says, "Stone Skull, where have you been, my friend?" And he walks forward to clasp your arm kind of in that wrist handshake or whatever.
All right, and as I...
It's called a man shake.
Handshake. So yeah, I kind of walk up and I give him the kind of breakdown of, well, when things were going a little crazy back at the cave, I decided I was gonna go pick up my my other friends so we could continue to travel. But by the time I came back, you guys were already gone.
Daddy kind of rubs the back of his neck and shakes his head. That place was wrong. Absolutely wrong. There was things in the caves and all the leadership kind of freaked out and we all just took off that night. I was wondering where you went. All my friends were looking around. He kind of sighs a little bit and he's like, "Poor Bartholomew, he missed you the most."
How is the old guy?
Daddy, he sighs once again. He says, "Well, not too well, my afraid. He's about 6 feet under, just outside the camp right now. Pissed off the wrong half-dragon, unfortunately."
That is truly unfortunate. Are you working with the company here?
Daddy kind of shrugs. He says, just got hired on by some old man." He actually points back towards the stall that you went to initially. Yep. He says, "For a trip off to the Waterdeep. I hear that's where the scum I was employed by is planning on going. They were right behind me as I came into the town, or into Baldur's Gate."
You don't sound too enthusiastic about rejoining them.
Kind of spits on the ground. He says, "I wouldn't rejoin them even if they paid me twice as much as what they were given. Damn cretins. They killed Bartholomew only because he was too slow to move a trunk. Trunk was as big as you were. Of course he couldn't move it very fast."
Well, if it helps, we are here to find some good work, so perhaps we will end up on the same route together.
Daddy says, "Aye." And he slaps you on the arms in a very familiar way. Says, "Aye, maybe we'll see some more of each other."
All right, well, I need to get back to my companions and try to get ready for the road, but hopefully soon we'll be on the road together.
Says, "Aye, yes, we'll be seeing each other."
And with that, I kind of shake his hand, do the whole arm grasp, handshake, and yeah, and then head back up to 3 Old Kegs to meet up with the rest of the group.
Okay. Fast travel, you're back.
Fast travel, I'm back. Hey guys, guess what?
What?
So, I may have found us a job.
Oh, excellent. Is it heading north?
It's heading to Waterdeep.
Yeah, that's north along the Sword Coast.
Well, it's with the same group that I hung out with when we were at the cave.
Are they still part of the cult army?
From what I understand, no. One of them died. One of the half dragons killed him.
Tara smiles fondly at the mention of the cave.
Do you feel like he's someone we could trust? Or at least someone who won't immediately betray us?
I think he is looking for companionship with his comrades, so I believe he will stick with us as long as we do not betray him. Plus, he's also not very fond of the dragons now because of Bartholomew.
The enemy of my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least we're starting to gather allies, even if you want to use that term loosely. With that, I kind of sit back. So about this job with the caravan, what other steps are required? When do we leave?
Kind of runs his fingers over the top of his head and says, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to meet him before he'll take you onto the group.
Of course. I look over at Steve, and I think it's time to don our costumes.
Well, it's that way, brother. I really hope potion works. Concoction. Potion. Fuck it, it's potion.
Precisely.
So I'm gonna. This whole time I wasn't wearing armor. You know what I mean? I wasn't armored up. I'm gonna go back upstairs, don my armor, get everything situated, and then down this vial and see what happens.
You're holding mine, right, Willa?
My thought was one for I wasn't necessarily gonna give you one as much as keep it as an extra. You know what I mean? If there's only 30. I mean, unless you want it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it's completely up to you. My thought is with not knowing.
No, my thought was blind girl traveling.
I mean, yeah, but.
And,
so,
you gotta go meet a guy who's gonna size up a blind girl?
Yeah, but I'm saying, even if you take this thing that doesn't give you eyesight, you're just gonna be a blind something else. Which I don't think really necessarily helps our cause at all. I mean, you can, like I said, if you want to, you can pull it off.
No, I'm just saying if you think it's better as an extra, that's fine. But I'm just thinking as how we're gonna get hired on.
Well, he didn't say I couldn't have others traveling with us. He just wouldn't hire the others if he doesn't meet them.
I'm your daughter.
Yeah.
I go everywhere with you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of I'm leaning more towards it's going to be a lot harder to convince him to bring Tara on than it would be to say she is a traveling companion under my care.
Yeah,
Okay.
That'll be easy.
I like that. I'm down with that plan. I like it.
Okay. Me and Damien, at least, we'll.
I think our skin tones even kind of match.
All right.
Yeah. So
Max and Steve are drinking the concoction.
Yep, I am.
Yeah.
I actually preferred it this way because I don't want to pay that dude.
Watch
All
out.
right.
Watch out, lips. Watch out, gums. Watch out, stomach. Here it comes.
First and foremost, I need you both to roll me a 1d2.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Come on, same thing.
Yeah, roll the same thing.
Okay.
Don't you let us down, Damien.
Roll the same thing.
Damien!
I'm here. Shh.
Don't shush me.
I wasn't shushing you. I was shushing.
I wouldn't shush you.
Yes! Yes!
It's funny that y'all think that's a good thing. All right, now roll me a 1d4.
It may not be a good thing. I'll go
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
first.
Whatever's
Yeah.
gonna happen,
All right.
let's go together.
All right. Okay. So as you're drinking this liquid, it starts to go down your throat, and it's not like a burning sensation. More so than it's so cold that it burns. It's
Yeah.
physically a violent concoction that erupts as soon as it hits your stomach. You begin to like shrivel up and change form. You don't feel any changes happening to your body. Your armor and everything stays the same size, as well as moving around. However, as the transformation takes hold and you both be able to look down at yourselves, you notice two somewhat sizable breasts have now grown, and you are now both females in appearance. You are both very
Nice.
large female elves.
Very large female elf.
Yeah, because you only be a a foot taller or smaller, so y'all shrunk
Yeah.
in size. Y'all
Yeah.
are both. What's y'all's heights?
I'm just screaming.
6'6".
Yeah. So you're not too large, but y'all are both down to like mid 5 foot range, and you're both female
Yeah,
elves.
it's pretty average, yeah.
It's definitely gonna go down in the world a little bit. I kind of look down, feeling my face. Does my you guys say anything? Like, wow, that was a transformation. Does my voice change too?
It's got a very high tenor to it now.
I
However,
look around. Who was that?
Yeah, what the? Oh no.
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna do a falsetto voice all the time, but but this is gonna take some getting used to.
Voice break and everything. So yeah, as you begin to kind of feel on your body, however, especially you, Max, you feel the the solid metal of your half plate of your armor, even though it appears that you're sitting in some kind of like not translucent but very silk-like robes. It seems like it's only skin deep, as it were, the transformation. It's purely illusion.
Oh no. Okay, so it's just an illusion. Cool. Yeah. So I kind of looked down and said, "Well, he did mention that he didn't know how long this would last. So I think any business that we need to attend to, we should do so quickly." And I imagine I'm still just tripped out at the way I look.
Yeah.
If that's you inside there, Max, you'll want to go quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was waiting on that. I was like, how do I look? Like, do a little spin, be like, weird. Stop it, erection. Yeah.
It's a very confused erection.
Awkward. Yeah, are you gonna use that from now on? Are you gonna look or? Yeah. So so like everything's basically the same. It's just an illusion on the outside. Cool. Yeah. Let's move. Go talk to this gentleman. Stone's go.
Knock him dead, Maxine.
That's actually gonna be my name. Works out well.
Stevie
Maxine and
Nicks over
Steve.
there.
No, just Steve.
Sarah.
So, Stone Skull accompanies Maxine and Sarah to meet the same guy that I had spoke to before.
What about Aaron?
Is Arun accompanying us?
Yeah, I can probably do something acrobatic.
Okay. And with that, I'm going to have Tara follow behind, and then when we get up close, actually, we could probably now with this situation, we could play it off that she's with one of the elves at that point. Although they've already accepted me. Yeah, I'm gonna just have her accompany me and then see what he says. That'd be fine.
Aaron, me and Steve and I are going to act like your subjects. All right, we're behind you, like we're your soldiers to command.
Oh, this feels wrong.
It is wrong. Things about this is wrong.
It'd be good. It'll make sense. We want to minimize the amount of talking we do, especially about Elf and anything. Just let him do the talking.
Kids from Langoliers here.
All right. So as the group approaches, this man sitting behind the stall, as it were, who's going up and talking? Who's doing what?
Stone Skull's doing the talking. I am just kind of like trying to act like a child, kind of looking down towards the dirt with my head, but I'm not really looking.
And she's sticking beside Stone Skull. And as Stone Skull approaches, he looks over at the... I didn't catch the guy's name.
Didn't ask.
Didn't ask, yeah. And as I approach, I say, well, I brought my friends back. This is Maxine and Sarah and Steve. Because I don't want to give him Avern's name.
It's fair.
So he calls him Steve.
Okay.
I was really tempted to be like, yep, I'm Sarah. It's an elven name. Fuck off.
All right.
It's
So
back generation.
as you walk forward and introduce everybody, he kind of sizes them up once again. Says, I've heard elves can be some decent fighters, but I'm not sure how much they're going to offer. Can you vouch for them?
Yes, they are with me.
All right. So Tara is clinging to
Stone Skull's side,
so
yeah.
she will not have to roll. Everybody else either give me persuasion or athletics checks to try to convince him you're worthy.
And I argue for acrobatics.
How would you argue about this? What would you display your acrobatic talent to be?
Well, probably a series of flips, some dexterous movements with a couple of rapier parries.
All right, yeah. Give me
Hey, Spinach,
an
how you
acrobatic
doing?
check then. Yeah, that's everybody. Sweet.
I just imagine I unsheath my blade and pull out like my beat up shield and just kind of smack them together in front, like bang. Don't have to say anything.
I
Raises
wince
an
as I
eyebrow.
watch my shield disgraced.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at you, Maxine,
I forgot that.
as the female elf
Here,
does this
let me
very masculine
take
thing
care of that.
and nods towards you.
I don't know why that's there.
Sarah, as you kind of bat your eyes at him, he kind
Sorry
of
about
nods
that.
to you as well. And Arun, with his acrobatics feats, he nods as well. He says, honestly, all three of you even impressed me better than the big one here. I think I could get you hired on as direct bodyguards for the merchants. Pays about 10 gold pieces per 10 day, and all your food and
You
living
did the
expenses on
beer
road are
command.
paid
Yeah, I
for.
haven't added
Does that
anything
sound
there.
agreeable to you all?
Just nod.
Yeah, silent nod.
That sounds wonderful.
Then you'll take us with you.
He says, me? Yeah, I suppose so. We actually just had a few somewhat unsavory types. They were very gruff, but they paid the price. So on the morrow, we're going to be leaving for Waterdeep.
And do you have a time which you would want us to meet you here?
Daddy kind of stands up. He says, "Well, I've got the last mercenaries I need for bodyguards. We'll be leaving out first light." He holds a hand out to you, Stone Skull. Says, "My name's Bade Setchapole. I'll be accompanying you on this journey."
What? And can you put that in chat too?
Yeah.
And
No.
Stone Skull nods and says, "I'm Stone Skull. People just call me Stone Skull."
He kind of raises an eyebrow and looks up towards your head. "I'm sure they do, my friend." Says, "Be ready at the northwest gate first thing in the morning. We'll be leaving then."
All right.
How do we get our horses there?
You can take them through the city as long as you're not riding them, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we could just transport them from one end and basically just let the guards know we're trying to take them to the other gate.
Get up bright and early.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is the plan.
I just think it's funny to think the horses are damaging the roads, but they're letting you just walk through them.
Don't question them.
It's for size. You know, horses get spooked to hurt people.
If I was doing it verbatim, you would not be taking your horses through the city, but I'm giving you all an out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we
Yeah,
could
yeah.
walk around the outside edge, couldn't we?
you could
Technically.
get some weird looks, but yeah, you probably
Mhm.
could. All right,
All
you
right.
have been hired for. Let's see. Four
What's
of
the
you have
company
been
name?
hired as bodyguard. The guys that are escorting this caravan.
Mm.
TM. That's the name. They're called the guys that are guarding this caravan. They don't have a name.
Oh, no. It's a cool company name.
Yeah.
Tough to forget who you work for.
The guys that Bade hired to do the thing.
Do I see what's his name? Fremont, do I see him with the group?
Best friend's name? What the fuck?
I forgot my best friend's name,
You've
apparently.
made me remember this since like session 2.
I was trying to remember which one was dead and which one was alive.
Bartholomew met his tragic end.
Bart met his end.
Bart is a lawn dart.
Earlier today, because I didn't want to write up 2 character descriptions, only one, so Bartholomew died.
Now, Black Bart, you'll get yours.
All
right.
right.
So yeah,
So, what do you want to do?
do I see him with the group? Is he going to be traveling along as well?
You kind of assume, based on the fact that he has enough, mercenaries and hired hands now, and Fremont saying that he secured, a job with this dude, he'll probably be on the caravan as well.
All right.
Yeah, I want to go back to Ackland, tell him of the news, and have him prepare our horses for, to leave before first light tomorrow.
He's going to be really confused.
Yep.
Sorry.
Shall
I'll
I
explain
take
it
care of
before.
that?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
All
Won't
so
take
you
much
all-
convincing.
Are y'all all heading back to Celadon?
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
best to go in a group.
Okay. So you all make your way back. Everybody, as you're walking up, give me perception checks.
Perception.
No.
Holy shit.
We're too distracted by each other's asses.
Oh, thank
Hey.
God! Thank God, Aaron's paying attention.
I'm not, apparently. God damn it.
Let's see.
You have an internal conflict. Like, you keep looking and chastising yourself. Like, no. You know what those look like? Ugh. Like, don't.
They're scaly and wrong.
Man, magic is
You know
gross
what's
and
on the
weird.
inside.
All right, so as Arun's visibly trying not to look at the now Maxine and Sarah for a multitude of reasons, thus leading him to pay very good attention to around him. As you're approaching Celeban's yard, you actually see a couple of people that look slightly familiar based on their black garb and such. They seem to be very shady looking with their dealings, but you see these few people over in Celeban's yard. They appear to be purchasing some wagons. You overhear them talking about them to be delivered to the North Gate, First Light, and to take all their supplies that they were shipping through town and make sure they're on the wagons before they leave. And with that, as you're approaching and hearing all this, they take off and head further out of the city.
My friends overheard that conversation. It sounds like some of our mutual acquaintances will be acquiring their goods.
Is he choppy for anybody else? Is it
Yeah,
It's like
he's
in and out, in and
choppy,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're losing connection.
Mic volume's super low, I think, and it's getting cut off.
Hold on.
They said something about seeing our. I mean, I guess the gist was you were letting us in on the fact that those guys are from the cult getting wagons.
Yep.
That would be true. How's this? Any better?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, much.
Okay, good. But
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Let's go talk to Celeban and see if he knows anything more. If he give us any more information on this.
All right.
Yep. I follow your lead.
Okay, so after the cultists leave, you're able to slip inside. You see Celeban back behind the counter, kind of rubbing his hand through his hair. He seems to be a little bit shaken as you approach him.
As we walk in, I'm gonna look to Stone Skull. Say, watch the door. Don't let anyone come in. We're getting too close now. Don't want any unintended guests or visitors.
Okay. And Stone Skull's going to step outside and lean back against the door. And if someone approaches, he's gonna use his fist to just kind of pound on the door to alert everybody.
Okay.
Go up, man. Master Celeban. It's I, Maximilian.
With that, he kind of raises his head and he's like, no, you're not. Who are you?
Don't mind the disguise. I do the same, like, kind of open up my my cloak so you can see the same armor, shield, and weapon. A little bit of magic to help us blend in.
He kind of looks at you and starts to turn his face away. He's like, don't undress in here.
Oh, come, it's just an illusion. With that, I cover the front, my voluptuous chest back up.
I'm gonna walk over and be like, "What have I told you?" And then I turn towards him and say, "It is him."
I'm not
He's
used
still
to
getting
being
used to it.
Woman yet. No, we've we have acquired a job guarding a caravan heading north out of the gate heading to Waterdeep, that we imagine to be part of the cultist activity. In fact, two of the gentlemen who just came through here were associated with the same group. What were they trying to procure from you?
Daddy still has kind of an uneasy look as he's looking at you, but after Aaron's reassurance and him taking a little bit closer look, it seems like he can kind of see through it now that you've revealed it, the illusion to him. He's like, well, that's why I was so nervous, you see. I could tell by their garb and their mannerisms when they were walking in. They seem to be the ones that were reported by our scouts. They were procuring 5 wagons and some supplies. Said they were heading north. but I didn't dare ask him any more questions. I didn't want to give myself away.
Good man. We'll be guarding that caravan and going side by side. Is there anything you can tell us about what they planned on transporting? What kind of wagons that they're looking for?
Daddy kind of shrugs. He says, "Not much, honestly. They ordered just regular wagons, ones that I sell every day. Nothing special about them. I could tell from some of the things they were carrying on them, everything was covered. It seemed to be put away out of sight, so they don't really show anybody what they're carrying exactly. But we all know it's got to be something precious, things that they've stolen from all these cities they've sacked."
I was, because thinking like I don't want them to just be able to take all of this. Do you think it wise to potentially sabotage the carts so it can't get too far out of town? Make them only carry what they can carry?
And with that, he kind of wide eyes stares at you, says, No. No, our goal here is to get information. We don't want to draw them. We don't want to delay them. We want to figure out where they're going, where this Natar is that keeps getting mentioned that nobody knows about. We need to know where that is.
There's truth to that too. Okay. They're prepared to leave at first light. Is that when the wagons are commissioned for?
Daddy nods. He says, "Aye, yes it is."
Are you providing any drivers for these wagons?
He kind of shakes his head. He says, "No." He said that they would provide their own.
Fair enough. They're not giving us an easy in. That's it. Perfect. Well, we need to have our horses also ready to go before first light. We'll collect them here, and then make our way to the north gate.
Daddy nods. He says, "Very well. I can have them ready well before light, ready to go for you. Once again, just be careful. If you let the ruse drop, if you're discovered, our plan could go for naught. I've sent scouts, people under my employ, ahead to try to mark the trail for a few other places, or a few other caravans, rather, that seem to belong to the cult as well. But I hate to say it, I can't rely on them. That's why Froome and us in the Order are relying on you so much. But if you fail, then we may very well be back at square one."
I don't. None of us have any intention of failing. I believe this is just as important to the five of us as it is to any of you.
Daddy nods. Says, "Very well. If you need any supplies before you leave out, let me know, and I'll have it delivered with your horses. Otherwise, all I can do is wish you the best of luck."
If you have need of us or need to contact us, we'll be at the Three Old Kegs for the rest of the evening.
Daddy nods. Says, "Very well."
We are losing roll 20, or people are dropping from roll 20.
Yeah. I only see.
Yeah, they are.
Forge and
I'm here. Oh, there we go.
Everybody pack back.
All right.
Weird. It's with Roll20 dying at like 9:30 every night. Weird. Let's see. Yeah, so you're under the impression that you have a good inn for the next morning. Not directly involved with the cultists, but you do know they'll be in the same caravan.
Sorry, guys.
You've got kind of the evening to yourselves, and then you're expected at the North Gate in the morning.
Yeah, I'm all set. I don't really have any other plans unless anybody else has something they have a burning desire to do.
No, I think we've got everything.
Yep.
We got food for the horses and everything, right?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right.
Yeah, let's roll.
All right. If nobody has anything, you will make your way back to the Three Old Kegs. I'd imagine you probably drink a little bit, or maybe not at all, honestly, preparing for the trip out in the morning. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so where's my road music? There's my road music. All right,
I do
so
want to acquire a pipe and some smoking tobacco.
All right.
No, I just don't want any mist leaf or any crazy nonsense. I'm not looking to get high.
If you're wanting for some good old just regular tobacco, it'll set you back for the whole thing 5 silver pieces.
Cool. Let's do that.
All right. Okay. So you wake up well before dawn. In the 3 old kegs, you're able to make your way out, just having some cold rations for breakfast to get out and in a hurry. The stable boy already has your horses prepared, and you make your way across the city. As you get there, you see a total of... and the other number. Okay. You see a total of 8 wagons in this caravan.
It's a big caravan.
Mm-hmm.
You see a few at the front, to what you recognize to be either mercenaries or probably members of the cult, seem to be gathered around these first 5 wagons to the front of the caravan. And the other 3 seem to hold either various merchants or civilians of some sort. I don't really know, just from the gathering in the early morning light. But that being said, you see Bade as well as Fremont walking up, saying, "Good, you're here. It's time we set out. We'll make good time the earlier we leave." And with that, the wagon sets, or the caravan rather, sets off. And this will kind of be your backdrop for a little while.
Okay,
So as you're kind of walking along these early morning hours, leaving from Baldur's Gate here, Bade comes over to talk to you and says, "Have you ever made the trip this far north?"
I'm from the mountains, so yes, I've been this way.
That he nods. He's like, it'll take us probably a good 60+ days to get up there, barring any setbacks.
That's kind of try and make my voice sound gruff, even in a feminine manner, and just say, we've traveled this far. What's another 60 days?
So that's a good spirit to have. He kind of explains what the process is going to be. The trip is about from Baldur's Gate, going through the coastway up to Dragonspear Castle, then moving along the tradeway to Daggerford, and then on past that to Waterdeep. About 750 miles. Says that on a good day they can make about 15 miles. Caravan travels for about 8 hours a day and camps at night for the safety of everyone that isn't a warrior there. Lets you know that every 6 days or so, the wagons will all stop for a day to let all the animals rest, so that they don't have to worry about changing out mounts and such. So, I don't really want to start because it's gonna be really RP heavy. Fuck it. We'll see how it goes. All right, so way basically just out of game real quick. Basically, the way this is going to work, you're on the road. You have now entered a new episode. You're more into the episode, I guess. So you're going to be making your way along this, traveling with all of these people that you will probably come to know over time. Different things are going to happen as any kind of travel this far would. So we'll kind of be going through different things. The one caveat I'll say is that if it's taking too long, if we're like 4 sessions in and this is still going on, I'll probably be shortening it down a lot. It shouldn't, but I thought y'all would be done with this by like 8 o'clock and already on the road. So I don't know. So that being said, you're on your first day and moving out. Negative, not yet.
Damn it.
Good try though.
How about now?
No.
Yeah, you're gonna hear that once a day for the next 60 days.
Maybe now.
Are we leveled yet?
You want to know how you will know
level yet?
you're level 5 because the DM will say, "Hey, you're level 5 now." Till that
Oh,
point in time,
damn it.
though.
Ah, you said it.
You said
You
it.
did say it. All right, we're level 5 now.
All right, fair enough.
And suddenly,
Character
4
sheets.
ancient dragons fly overhead and destroy the caravan and everybody in it.
Hey, Farbo, was
Oh.
that restaurant you liked? The place with all the shit on the walls?
The mozzarella sticks.
Those shenanigans.
Oh.
All right. So as you make your way out, let's see.
This is good travel music.
I thought it was, and this is a whole playlist just called The Road. All right.
Yeah.
So as you're taking
And
off,
now we're taking
you
levels
begin
away.
to, as the day progresses, you begin making your way towards the north. You know that the fields of the dead lay about a day away. You know that this area is kind of dangerous. You know that there's rumors and hearsay to never light any kind of fire or lantern on top of the hill because it draws in monsters and creatures from all the area around it to that location. So you've already been advised that no fires will be lit once you're into the fields of the dead. But like I said, it's about a day away.
Doesn't bother me.
Puny fires.
Nothing special, just Coke Zero.
So as you're walking along, one of the merchants actually gets
Nothing
off.
special tonight.
Actually, no. So let's do it this way. You're all assigned as bodyguards and a sergeant. Stone Skull, you're kind of in charge of your little party here to keep them all in line. Make sure that they stay on to their respective duties.
Y'all heard that, right?
Oh God.
And that is
Nod.
what Bade told you. Where's my other list? There we go. Let's see. The Elven sisters, Maxine and Sarah. You are assigned to a one Acrony Uliatin.
What?
Yeah, that's the name.
Okay. We get a
Yep.
Does somebody
white
have a
action
jet flying
figure.
over their house right now?
Willie's outside again.
Yeah, I'm outside.
So you know that he actually has 2 of the wagons in this caravan and therefore needs 2 bodyguards for him and his other driver that he has employed. You know that he's carrying cured furs and some uncured hides. You know this man is a very boorish man without a trace of civilization about him. Seems to be kind of a rough and tumble fur trader.
Hill people.
Yeah, he is very smelly, vulgar, has no manners, which is hilarious because he has 2 elves guarding
2 high
him.
elves.
Oh yeah, he's
2
gonna hit on
female
you.
high elves.
Yeah.
His his second wagon driver rather, and 2 laborers that he has with him are very pleasant though compared to him. So keep that in mind. I will give you the description so you can keep note of it of how you want to interact.
Cool.
All right, so that's 2 of y'all. Let's see. Arun. You see actually Bade Sechapol actually has a wagon in this caravan as well. He is taking some stuff. You see his wagon is full of ale and beer. He has every intention to kind of sell this to people as they're traveling on within the caravan and anybody they happen to meet. Since ale and beer is kind of very common to have, he just kind of makes his money off the
Universal.
road. Yeah. So he is carrying
Excellent.
that stuff.
I imagine I'm mostly protecting it from Stone Skull.
and
I'm
his
the
daughter.
one in charge here.
And his daughter, the alcoholic.
His daughter,
duo.
the alcoholic.
They're guarding the booze. Good.
Hey,
Stone
you can't let
Skull-
my daughter drink. Takes it for himself.
Stone Skull, while you are in charge of this, you are given the task of kind of watching over the bodyguard as well as the that isn't assigned to this, that isn't part of the group, who happens to be your good friend Fremont is the bodyguard for this particular merchant. His name is it a he or she? Let's see. No, it's a she this time. The female's name, she is a... Oh. You're not going to give me a race? Oh, she's another elf. Ha ha Her name is Edhelry
Yep.
Luel. Fucking elves.
Traditional Elvish name, huh?
Yeah, Edhelry Luel. She is carrying exotic wood from the jungle of Chult for the master carpenters and cabinet makers of Waterdeep to turn into exquisite furniture. You notice after getting to know a little bit, she's actually the opposite of Bade Setchapole. He is very coarse and such like that. She is very prim and proper. She gets a little impatient with people, but anybody that kind of lingers around her wagon, not doing their job, things of that nature. So, things to keep in mind. All right. And there are various others. These are the 3 that you are charged to protect, however. So many characters. Okay. So, as the day continues on, 2, 3. One of the travelers that doesn't actually have a wagon, he seems to just be keeping along with the ride, walks up to you, Maxine. 2. So this man, not very tall, and you actually see that he's a halfling with a very almost oversized nose on him. He walks up to you and kind of in a piping tenor, looks down towards your sword, which actually kept its form, was not altered in appearance. Looks down at it and says, "Where'd you get that thing?"
It's been with me for a very, very long time. An heirloom, if you will.
Heirloom. I'll give you 5 silver for it.
I guess you don't know what an heirloom is, my young master, my little master.
Daddy kind of shrugs his shoulders. He says, "Well, can't be worth that much. I mean, 5 is more than enough, right?"
So I'm afraid not. It's does not have a price tag because it is not for sale.
Oh, everything's for sale, my friend.
While it's true everything has a price tag, this is not something that gold could purchase.
Daddy he shrugs. He says, "Very well then. But I think I'll have it by the day's through." With that, he kind of walks away and continues back onto the road. And if y'all have anything y'all would like to do, any kind of investigations going forward, just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to be keeping an eye on not only my sword, but the halfling from here on out.
Okay.
My main thing is ensuring that the guy that is helping me to protect the Ed Hellery, that he Fremont, making sure that he's keeping up and being attentive as to not cause any trouble with this elf.
Okay. As you're kind of keeping on, who did y'all have? Y'all had archery?
Yeah, he had archery.
Yeah.
So if you're kind of walking along, say that Maxine is walking beside or riding her horse rather, next to Archrenny here. He kind of leans over. The smell of just bad BO kind of wafts into your nostrils, but he says, "Well, old shit. Hey, old Longnose taking a liking to your sword there. He's a persistent one."
They say Longnose is his name?
Losfius Longnose. And it's like, that's his name. And for more than one reason. It's not just the thing on his face that gives him that name.
Known to be a weaver of tales.
He says, not so much. He just keeps sticking his nose where it doesn't belong.
That much was evident. I also want to, kind of play into it now, and like flirt with him a little bit. You know what I mean? At least not be like standoffish. Like I want to be gruff with everybody else when I'm around him. But the idea, talking to him, not like turning my nose up at him.
Okay. Just being more friendly to him than others.
Yeah, and can you give me Long Nose's first name?
Losvius.
Losvius Long Nose.
So as the day continues on, after getting a little bit of insight into this man, Losvius approaches you again. He says, well, have you thought over my offer any? 5 silver pieces for the sword.
To Master Longnose, why the obsession with my sword?
He kind of shrugs. I like the look of it.
As do I. Hence my lack of desire to part with it. Plus, I don't have another blade.
Kind of shrugs. He's like, I'm sure you can get another one off of one of these other, he kind of waves towards the rest of the party. He's like, one of these other mercenaries. You could find another. Come on, 5 silver pieces.
I believe I'll have to pass unless your offer gets significantly better.
And then he kind of shrugs. He says, well, you'll come around to my way of thinking, one way or another. And he makes his way off again. Unless you had something else to say.
No, I'll let it slide. I was going to make kind of an idle threat, but I'll let it go. No need to start threatening people yet. 3 strikes and whatnot.
All right. With that, the day continues on into night. You kind of stop as dusk begins to settle at the end of your kind of 8 hours. Or a little bit longer on the first day. So you make camp. You're a little ways away now from Baldur's Gate. But everybody makes camp, set up the caravan kind of in a makeshift circle. Everybody give me perception checks.
I sure will.
I'm on a horse.
Holy shit.
There we go. Okay. So Stone Skull, Steve, and Arun. As everybody's making camp, you've been kind of keeping a wayward eye towards the front of this wagon train to where the cultists are. You notice they kind of go haphazardly in different directions as they make camp. Not far away. That everybody stays close together for protection. But it seems like they're not really making a display to be together. It almost seems like they're trying to hide that they are. So something to keep in mind as everybody makes camp. So the night goes on. Grab another one.
I have something I'd like to do before we take off.
Okay.
Like at night.
Uh-huh.
I want to go find Steve. And when we finally track him down and say, sister, I have an idea. I think we need to check the inventory for all of these caravans that we have with us. But I don't think that any of them will be too kind to anyone they catch poking around. So how about I make you unable to be seen, and you take your time and investigate what exactly it is in these caravans, or in these wagons.
Sure.
I like it.
So I want to kind of
Should be
step
members
away
of the
from
cult
the wagons,
with
from the
us.
circle, just far enough to be at a bow shot out of range, and cast invisibility on Steve, and then start making my way back. No, or both of us making our way back, but he'll be invisible in tow.
All right. Sarah, Steve, you are invisible.
Of the cultists, because there are cultists in this pack, of them, can we tell ranking?
No, none of the discerning marks and clothing seem to be
Nope,
worn
yeah.
right now. They're keeping a low profile.
Okay.
Dressed out.
And I'm also keeping my cloak over my head just to make sure none of them notice me.
Okay. Oh shit. One thing I forgot to do. Everybody roll me a charisma check.
Charisma?
Yep, just a straight charisma check.
Really? Man. Like, I get it on the perception checks. Come on.
Charisma? Yeah.
Give me one
It's
second.
rough.
+3 mod.
That's rough.
All right. Okay, continue as you were.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah.
Nope. No, sir, I don't like it. Not one bit.
I don't like it at all. I mean, I'm alright. I like it.
I think I'm okay.
I'm kind of irritated.
Does it appear that the one that I'm protecting is needing anything in particular of us at the moment? Ed Hellery? God, that name, man.
It's not so easy, is it?
Ed Hellery.
Damn it, there's so many character sheets open. Oh my god. Where did her? Oh, I closed hers. Son of a bitch.
That way I can remember it.
As you kind of start to get her settled, helping her stop her animals and such, she seems very precise. She wants the stakes to hold her horses to be driven exactly 2 feet into the ground. She wants all of her animals, washed and groomed before they are done for the night, as well as a fire made up for herself, since they haven't quite made it into the Fields of the Dead quite yet. She seems very particular and a little bit needy.
Okay. Does she have a group or somebody that is doing this for her, or is this expected of us?
Nope, it's expected of you.
Okay. Then I will do so and attempt to appease her along the way here.
I will assist in any way I can.
As she starts to get a little bit impatient with you, Tara, she's like, does that girl know how to find anything? Why do I keep having to hand her stuff?
But she is good with a horse brush.
Actually, that was actually going to be my idea. I was actually going to brush horses.
Give me a performance check.
Who? Me?
Tara.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're really good at brushing the horses. You're able to do it all over instead of just one spot.
See, I'm helping.
I'm helping. What's everybody else doing?
I'm just, staying within, just kind of wandering around the camp, but staying close enough to, maintain concentration on that spell.
Kind of imagining I'm like riding atop the carriage with most of the beer and other goodies, using it as a perch.
Okay. Steve, what are you doing?
Now that I'm invisible, I'm gonna be poke around in the wagon.
Which wagon do you want to poke in?
Start with the one that we were walking with, or one of the two that we were walking with.
Okay. All right, give me. Well, no, you'll be able to do it very stealthily and stuff. As you kind of go through this, you see a lot, like I said before, a lot of cured furs inside of it. Some uncured hides. Seems to all be stuff that's used for decorations, things of that nature. Everything smells pretty terrible. But rooting around a little bit, you don't see anything hidden beneath them. It seems to all be exactly what our Tyranny said he was carrying.
All right. Excuse me. I'm gonna poke around in the one stone skull was assigned to.
All right. So as you begin poking through this one, give me a perception check, or give me an investigation check.
I'm great at these. Ah,
Hey.
all right.
Okay.
Even with a -1, he's still got
So
a
on the top,
17.
you see a
That's
very kind
pretty
of
good.
slabs of very dark wood. Seems to be from some kind of exotic tree, which makes sense since she said she was bringing wood from the jungle of Chult, off to the southwest of the Sword Coast. As you kind of look around and move some of them, however, you see some wrapped goods. And after examining and pulling one out, you see almost a sack that's been wrapped in like some linen and such of jewels, a vast amount of them. As you look around, you see many more wrapped casings down below the wood hidden beneath it.
Mm-hmm.
And you also see Tara in the background, expertly brushed.
She's doing a good job.
There's a phenomenal brush job on that horse. I'm going to pocket a handful of the jewels as evidence that to bring back to Maxine, show them that what they say is in that wagon isn't evidence. Whatever. I'm 4 beers
this
deep.
can be-
Shut up.
This could be tricky.
All right, you're able to get some and pocket it in your invisible state. What else would you like?
You know what? On roll, I'm gonna go to the one a room was assigned to.
All right. Close that one. Open the other one. Okay. All right. So as you look around, you see several caskets, or not caskets, casks, sitting in the back of this very different merchant. Looking around, you kind of pop one of the plugs out of one of them and smell it, and you smell the very strong scent of some decent ale or beer of some sort. Pop the stoppers off a couple more. It's much the same. You get the impression that this is all the same stuff. It's all what he said it was. It's ale and
all
beer for the
legit.
road.
It's all legit.
All right.
There were 8 wagons total, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, now that I know that what are 3, systematically go through the rest of them.
All right. It's going to take you a little time to do this. You're approaching an hour after you got done with Bades.
Check the ones that are in the middle of the caravan then.
Okay.
That I haven't already checked.
Before I'll communicate with him before the spell is done, or I want to anyway.
Okay. You feel it approaching as he goes into the back. It's getting very close of another wagon. In the back of this one, you open it up and you see what appears to be small cages that all have covers over them, kind of on the floor of this wagon, as well as up on some of them are up on stands and kind of swinging back and forth. As you kind of peek inside of one of them, you see a very colorful looking bird of some kind sitting in it. It appears to be asleep. But as that happens, Max, you feel the spell ending.
Uh-oh. Get him out of there.
I want to cast another one on him, like, immediately. There's no one, no one within earshot. So I don't have to scream the spell.
Abort.
No. You don't have to scream it. Just got to cast it. I would say you're kind of wandering around him so you can kind of still see him. However, you do need to be touching him to cast that spell.
Then I will. Can I make my way out of sight, like not directly to the back of the wagon, like up towards the front and loop around? You make a show of not going immediately to the back.
You can. The spell's going to run out before you get to him, though. Try to take a roundabout way to get there. Take you a little time.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Yeah, I'll just do that. I'm not gonna risk it.
All right. So as you're making a way around, Sarah, the spell of invisibility drops around you as you're peering into this cage. Give me a stealth check.
You're good at these.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, as you don't panic at all. I mean, just cool as ice. You see your arm kind of that was holding up the drape covering this cage materialize back into existence, and you can see it again. So you calmly lower it back down and kind of move to the back of the wagon and start to get out. And at that point, that is when Maxine comes around the corner to you.
I whisper the same kind of components under my breath, and put my hands back on Sarah's back to reinstitute the spell. And whisper, "You're gonna need to move a little bit faster, brother."
All right. As he casts that, right before the invisibility takes hold, I'm gonna present the gems. It seems that the wood trader isn't telling all that she has.
I imagine that he puts his hands out and drops the stone from his hand right as his hand disappears and plops into my hand. Interesting. Something to make note. We'll make the rest of them aware at first light. See if you can find anything else.
All right. I'm gonna check the one at the end of the caravan, if that's not one I've already checked.
At this point, you're kind of making towards what was at the front. So you're slowly making your way up there. There are 3 of them left. You should have enough time to go through all 3 of these before the invisibility wears out. Getting
closer.
As you move on to this next one, you see no real semblance of exactly what should be in here. You see a lot of missed goods, some silverware, some table pieces and things of that nature, all kind of clumped up in the back of this wagon. Give me another investigation check. With disadvantage. No, I'm kidding. As you're looking in the back, you see under the table a small glint of something. As you kind of reach in and pull it out, you see a silver candelabra. It looks very exquisitely made, very expensive. As you pull it out, underneath it, you see another pile, kind of in a trap compartment in the bottom of this wagon floor. That seems to hold more shiny valuables in it.
Interesting.
I'm going to make note of this wagon. I'm not going to take anything out in case someone comes to look for this.
Hmm.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm writing down names. Give me 1 second. I'm not typing that name out. Oof.
Your name's
All right.
Mike.
You are hereby called Mike.
There are those who would call him Tim.
I'm just waiting on the couple name.
All right. As you
Karen.
2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. As you begin to examine this other one, you see what appears to be a lot of books stacked up in the back of this one, as well as some appears to be like household goods, almost like they were taken out of a a small house and just thrown into the back of the wagon haphazardly.
Hmm.
Give me another investigation check.
Huh. Would you look at that?
As you're kind of looking
Golly.
around, you notice some of the books appear to be book of law of some sort. Detailing the different laws of Baldur's Gate, but you don't really see anything else.
Right. I have no need for books, so I'm going to leave that wagon.
I got a buddy of mine over here that loves books.
Loves knowledge.
I'll give you a hint. It isn't me.
Wait, what? You're not a reader?
Neither am I.
Is there anything in Braille?
Alrighty. So as you go into the last wagon that you haven't examined up until this point, you crawl into the back of it and you see a lot of bottles of different substances inside of it. As you kind of pull some of them off and smell them, you recognize the smell of cooking oil as well as some perfumes.
By the way, how's everybody doing?
Give me an investigation check.
It's nice to have a bunch of people around tonight to check out the game. Just a reminder, Civil
everything
War
seems to be
Saturday,
adorned very richly.
7:30.
Seems like these things are made to look really expensive, though you don't really know if they are or not actually.
Yeah, 7:30
But
Eastern
other than
on
that, that's all you
Saturday
see.
for Civil War Alliance, and then Sunday it looks like we're going to be off again. Unfortunately, have somebody that's not going to be here, so try to make the most of it. Probably do some dungeon building or something. I'll figure something out on Sunday.
Yeah, it almost seems like the bottles are over adorned to look very expensive.
I'm going to take one. I put it in my pocket.
A door?
Okay. No, they're
What are they?
They're like vials of cooking oil and perfume.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
they're
Just pretty
adorned.
vials.
Yeah, they're adorned to look very expensive.
It was breaking up on my side, so.
They look like a Zorn.
A Zorn.
The shiniest looking bottle I'm going to take.
I imagine the picture you
Okay.
pocket.
So you're able to pocket one of the vials and take it with you.
All right.
Doing anything else?
That's all the wagons that come done here.
Is that everything?
I think so. Was that everything? Was that all the wagons?
Those are all the wagons, yeah.
As we make our way back, I imagine we did kind of a circle and come back to the first wagon. In low tones, in Draconic. I want to say, are you all finished?
Yeah. I found a bottle that looks.
I just like hush. Don't need random voices floating. Step farther out away from the caravan and I'll let the spell drop and come back.
Alright.
When we do so, when it gets out of sight range, let the spell fall.
Alrighty.
When we kind of sit back down, lean up against one of the wagons, make sure no one's around, and again, like in draconic whisper, what did you find?
Respond back in Draconic and then pull out. Try and slowly pull out the bottle so you can see it, but not like, hey, look at this, everybody.
Like a drug deal. Like slide it out, like take a peek, slide it back in your pocket.
Hey, you got the stuff?
Palm it.
So, basically imagine that you give me the gist. And, just look back. So, yeah, so they're seem to be transporting a bit more than they let on. But it's nice to know that we're at least with the caravan we're supposed to be with. With that, we'll, say, it's good. We'll let the others know. I'll pass the information along. I want to go from person to person and relay all that information. Make sure we're all up to speed. In the same manner, tell people, a private or as private as it can get setting.
Okay.
Cool. That's it.
Fun.
Anybody else have
Exciting.
anything they want to do during the night, or y'all gonna set up watches? You just gonna pass out? What do y'all want to do?
I will be checking with Fremont to see if he would be willing to set up watch or what his intentions are, and then kind of go off of that.
Well, he kind of asked you. He says, "Well, you're the sergeant here, so tell everybody what they need to do. If we need to, usually we'll set up a 4 or 5 person watch throughout the night. That way, we have somebody awake at all times."
And he nods. Yes, that'll be good. Let's do a 4-person watch and alternate every 4 hours.
All right, who's gonna be on the watch?
I'll pipe up and say, us elves can handle the watch.
The first watch, because I imagine it's going to be like an 8-hour watch.
No, if
total.
we're doing 4-hour shifts. Myself, Arun, Sarah, at least. We have one other elf. Oh, is she part of the? She's not one of the guards, is she?
No,
I am
she's
not a guard.
Okay.
Well, so this is a question. Do they now actually rest like elves, or do they just
No.
look like it?
No.
No, we don't. But we're gonna have to keep up appearances
Yeah.
because that's a pretty common elf thing. That's all right. If we're doing multiple hour shifts, we can still sleep like normal. Just put a tent up or something like that.
Yep. So
That's why I
I'll
wanted
definitely
to
be on
volunteer.
shift.
Because if we're both sleeping, like that might raise some suspicions real quick.
Okay, so the 3 of them, and then we'll throw in one of the other random guards in with them.
You can take first watch.
They'll take first watch, and then myself.
Scott takes second.
Yeah.
Or whatever. One of you two to wake us up.
Mm-hmm.
And
then myself and any of the other guards that may be around will take second watch.
I'll hang out on watch with you.
Mm-hmm.
That way I'm there, but not there.
Right.
All right. So who's on first watch?
Arun, Max, and Steve. And then a random member of the guard.
Okay. So
random mercenary.
Arun, Max, and Steve, give me perception checks.
Oh, nice.
Un momento, por favor.
no. You're
From
tired.
one side to the other. Yep. See, can't do the 4-hour thing.
All right. So yeah,
I'm not an
Maxine
elf.
and Sarah are kind of through the shock of their transformation earlier. From the days. Not really suited or adjusted yet to their new forms. Don't keep a real good eye out. Arun, as you look around, you're able to see easily with your elven eyes and your perch up on top of a wagon. Various creatures moving around, all small, rabbits and things of that nature. It seems very civilized and very calm out here. You don't see anything untoward. And
Before, as we're awakened for the start of our watch, because I'm going to have really poor visibility here, I'm going to kind of mention to Tara that I'll need her to be my eyes, far outside of where I'm at, because I won't be able to see anything.
I kind of softly chuckle and say, I can do that.
all right, everybody on second watch, roll me perception checks.
And is mine at advantage since
Holy
I am
shit.
looking out far?
Yes.
Locate anything?
You need your eyes.
It does not matter.
I need nothing.
Wow, double nat ones.
My eyes just exploded.
I've
Tara
never
falls-
seen two negative ones
Yeah,
before.
right. Tara actually falls asleep during her watch. She was just tired and was like, Stone Skull's got this. I'm assuming you're kind of over by your wagon charge, right?
Yeah, staying over by the wagon and
But
just kind of
yeah.
keeping.
You're pulling your little girl roll perfectly.
Falls asleep. She's like laying in your lap and shit. Ah.
Everything's fine.
Oh, I'm
just,
rolling too.
just gonna sleep now.
You notice Tara sleeping, Stone Skull, but you just don't have the heart to wake her and let her sleep. Much like Arun, you see various creatures kind of skirting the firelight from the various campfires set up by this caravan, but don't see anything untoward.
Okay.
All right. So as the next day, the day 2 arrives, everybody kind of wakes up and gets situated. Maxine, give me a perception check. So as you kind of situated yourself after your watch and went to sleep, you kept all of your belongings nearby, your sword and such all within reaching distance, as you would as a kind of trained or seasoned warrior at this point. As you wake up and begin to reach towards your brand new sword, you notice that it is gone. And at that point, that is where we're going to stop for the night.
Oh boy. Hey, this little halfling's about to get beat to death.
Do it.
You won't do it. You won't do it.
Take my sword? Yeah. Oh, it's taking one of these here spears and pin that little bitch to the ground by his face, by his big ass nose.
Alright, be right back.
It's going to be.
Alright, so with that is going to be the end of our stream. Thank you guys for being here. As a reminder, D&D Civil War Alliance 7:30 Saturday. Then no D&D Sunday. We will be here on Monday though, so I look forward to seeing you then as well. And then next week, not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday following is going to be D&D Civil War Empire. So they're also continuation at 7:30. Other than that, guys, thank you for being here. I very much appreciate all of you being here tonight. Hope to see you guys around again soon. I'm going to go ahead and drop our stream over to Dr. Lupo. He's celebrating his second year with Twitch here, so should be fun and exciting. Other than that, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you for being here, and have a good night.